Let's go through the grid then. I'll give you the start drivers for as many as I can. Sherrodice UK have been drawn on pole position in the 251 car. Peter Belshaw at the wheel for stint number 1, whilst Track Focus number 49 of Sean Cooper starts alongside him. FFS, they'll be looking to bounce back after the issues earlier on today. Nick Heighton will take the opening stint alongside Tropical Rocket Racing, who finished 4th in race 1 and start 4th in race number 2. That car started by Neo Clark. Sunoco Racing Team, they were in the wars a bit earlier as well with an extended pit lane visit. Phil Keane definitely one to keep an eye on from 5th, and the Demon Tweaks 207 car, that's the white and black Demon Tweaks car, started by Michael Lyons, starts 6th. 7th on the grid for GCI Racing, with Ian Wood doing the start this time, and the 249 Demon Tweaks car starts right behind the sister car in 8th position, started by Jason Minshaw. Signature RV 557, that car pedalled by Steve Ruston for the opening stint, starts 9th alongside PLR UVO. Remember, PLR swapping over into the original black and gold UVO machine. That car started by Tim Wheeldon as it was for race 1. Red River Sport are next, 11th on the grid for the 200 Red River Sport car. There are 2 of those this weekend, and that will be Johnny Molam, I believe, taking the opening stint. Lee Tech, ones to watch, I suspect. The 99 car started by Shea Brennan, starts 12th. 13th for the JPR 248 car, that will be Toby Hall, and 14th for the Vape Club machine, number 212, and they are putting Vlad Vasiliev in for the opening stint. Seed Data, who were tapped into a spin by GRD in the earlier race today. That 214 car started by Mike Devlin is 15th, and Race Logic, who were near the front on the grid for race 1, starts 16th this time, the car in the hands of David Denyer. 9th row of the grid is headed by Team Viking and Ursus Capital Racing's number 170 car, started by Colin Kingsnorth. Axiometrics 103 is next, that is Chris Wetherill, whilst the top 20 is completed by Greenheath, number 14, Paul Turner, and Fueled Up Racing, number 62, that is Paul Ellis-Smith again. 21st, Exposure Lights, number 125, that is Morgan Sparrow, with Team GRD 22nd, ironically, the one race in which they might not have had to start at the back, and they're still quite close to the back, courtesy of the random draw. Chris Devellin for stint 1. G-Force are next, 23rd on the grid for the 158 car, that's Gary Summers. Team Clapham North 24th, number 146, started by Abby Eaton again. FNS number 109, some quick cars here towards the back, aren't there? That is Steve Walton, with Red River Sports' second car, 257, started by Gareth Williams alongside. And look at this for a back row of the grid, Rob Boston Racing with Rare Vinyl. In fact, was this not the front row for the early race? It was, wasn't it? Rob Boston Racing and UVO were together on the front row of the grid. So the 169 car now starts on the back row alongside UVO Hoffman's trying to say 2 things at once. Alongside UVO Hoffman's Motorsport, it is Tom Roach starting the Rob Boston car, and the UVO car, by process of elimination, is started by Fabulous Randaccio. I say that because Farkini is behind me in the commentary box. So, how about that then? The front row of the grid for race 1 is the back row of the grid for race number 2, and we get to do it all again. The first half hour, John, of race 1 was absolutely spectacular. I suspect we're in for more of the same.
Indeed, yeah, I think the word was chaos, wasn't it, earlier, for that first 30 minutes? Well, let's hope for more of that then, as we crack on with the second Fun Cup race of the day here at Anglesey. Yeah, amazing. Not only were they the front row of the grid now to the back row, they were also our top 2 for the majority of the race, really, until sort of the last, 20 or 30 minutes or so, when we had that safety car come out, and sadly the Rob Boston Racing crew not making it through to the checkered flag. But this is it then. All the drivers have managed to keep their cars relatively clean, ready for the second race. Let's hope it's just the same by the time of the checkered flag.
Paul Rosa sold a few new front splitters. The cars all look resplendent in the evening sunlight. Round number 4 of the Fun Cup Endurance Championship about to get underway here on the Anglesey Coastal Circuit, and it is going to be then Sherrodice UK who start from pole position, and alongside them the Track Focus 49 car. There's a big stack up as they come to the start. They've all just about avoided contact, and the race gets underway in slightly messy fashion. Track Focus challenging round the outside through target. They'll have the inside line for the banking on the opening lap, and I think they should go through. So the 49 car then grabs the early advantage. Good start made by Sean Cooper. Sherrodice slotted to second. Someone's been on the grass further back, but they're all still there as they exit turn 2 and head down towards Church Corner. Side by side for third, that's FFS and Sunoco. Phil Keane in the Sunoco racing car. I said that he should move forward, and he is moving forward from 5th on the grid. He is third, heading onto the back straight for the first time.
Yeah, good start, and a good start, to be fair, overall. The whole grid United making it on through, up towards Rocket we go for the first time in this race. Once again, side by side between the front two, and to the inside line goes Sherrodice UK once more. They're going to retake the lead, but have they gone a bit too deep? They have. Almost contact between the top two, but let's look further back then. Often this can be a big pinch point of the circuit, particularly on lap number 1, but all drivers giving each other lots of room. Good to see. They all continue on, making it through this first lap and settling in nicely.
Yep, so Sherrodice back to the front then, 2 lead changes already. Remarkably, Uvio Hoffmann's Motorsport led every lap in the first race today. The first time that's ever been done in championship history, that the same team have led every single lap. There was only 1 lead change, it happened on the first lap, and they led every time across the line after that. So there's a record for the Uvio pairing. That may not happen this time, although to be fair, Sherrodice started on pole, and they do lead at the end of the opening lap. Track Focus second, Sunoco Racing third, Team FFS fourth, and Tropical Rocket Racing there in 5th position. Then it's the Demon Tweaks 207 car, as FFS have to do a bit of defensive driving there into the banking.
Yeah, Rob Boston Racing and Uvio going together as they press on through the order. There was a little look up the inside from Uvio into T1. It was a bold attempt, it didn't quite work, and they had to slot back in behind once more as you press on through to now this second lap of the race. Well, yeah, as you say, an amazing stat there for Uvio. The only way someone could beat it is if the pole position sitter does the same again in this one. Well, Sherrodice currently still holding the race lead. We're only on lap number 3 though, as there's more moves up towards Rocket. FFS trying to hold that inside line all the way around the outside, trying Tropical Rocket, and they've done it. What a beautiful move that was. GCI trying to do something similar. Didn't quite work out as well for them though.
No, Ian Wood gets squeezed out. He's the GCI meat in the Demon Tweak sandwich at the moment. The 207 ahead and the 249 behind. Track Focus back to the front though, so Sean Cooper, is that right? Sean Cooper, yes, he's back to the front then, ahead of the Sherrodice machine, but Phil Keane is the danger man here, I think, isn't he, in the Sunoco Racing car, up into 3rd position. Phil Keane's resume really speaks for itself. A hugely successful GT and sports car racer, and often flew under the radar, you felt, but he had a huge amount of success in things like British GT, and he is really enjoying his time in the Fun Cup over the last year or so. He's on terms with the leaders, and I suspect we'll be looking to make a move this time up towards Rocket.
I'm sure we'll keep our eyes firmly focused on them as these teams continue on round. Then on to a new lap of the race we go. And yeah, that move up at Rocket from, funny enough, Tropical Rocket Racing. Well, we said in race number 1 they love that move up at Rocket. Very fitting with their name, and they've already started off here in race number 2. Lovely move around the outside. Don't often see such a beautiful move like that from 157. They've got it done up to 4th place. They've got a bit of work to do though to catch those top 3, as they might start battling as well though. They're going to head up side by side towards Rocket as well, as Sherrodice look to make a move further back, 3 wide, all the way around the outside, trying GCI, but again, it's a little bit too late on the brakes. They'll have to slot back in once more. Both the Demon Tweaks cars trying the outside line then for the right-hander. Sadly, don't think it's worked out for either of them. The white car, the 207 Demon Tweaks car, keeps alongside for a little bit longer, but again, the FFS has the inside line and takes the place back.
Yes, it does, although there's maybe an opportunity into the corkscrew. No, the 207 settles back in line. If we had a change at the front, we have, haven't we? Phil Keane to the front, so from 3rd to 1st. I said he'd probably try and make a move up the back straight. He didn't make 1 move, he made 2, and so now Phil Keane leads the way. So that is 3 laps and 3 different leaders. Uvio's new record is safe for this evening at least. This is already looking like a more typical start to a Fun Cup race. Multiple lead changes, but Phil Keane will now look to try and establish himself out in front, and he might just have the pace to do so.
Well, in that first race, it was sort of chaos everywhere but the battle for the lead, whereas that has changed for this one, hasn't it? Continued squabbling at the sharp end, and then yet again another lead change. So this time Sherrodice down into 3rd place, and only that tiny bit of racing between these top 3 has brought Tropical Rocket Racing onto the scene as well. And these 4 at the sharp end have quite a nice gap over the next pack. Still FFS leading up that secondary pack and still doing their best to keep the likes of Demon Tweaks GCI and the other Demon Tweaks car behind, which they are doing for the moment. Up through Rocket we go once more, and now top 4 all line astern. There was that battle briefly in the background. FFS continued to stay ahead, but that gap between the top 4 and themselves continuing to open up. It is now just over 2 seconds. I can only imagine with their continued defence of 5th place, that gap will continue to increase.
Indeed so. Fabulous Randaccio, by the way, up into 17th place already, so that's 10 places gained, 11 places gained from where he started. So the Uvio Hoffmann's Motorsport car charging through the order nicely, and could well be knocking on the door of a top 10 before long.
And look who's gone with them as well. Rob Boston Racing,
yes.
right behind them, following each other through the traffic. It was Rob Boston car leading the Uvio car to begin with, but a couple of laps ago they switched around. but even doesn't matter who's leading out the two of them, they both continue to pick their way through the order very nicely.
That's Tom Roach in the Rob Boston Racing car, so not a huge surprise to see him going well. Tom Roach, who was dominant in Mazda MX-5 circles around about 10 years or so ago, still a very handy peddler, and great to have him out in Fun Cup again this year, really enjoying himself. He raced in Fun Cup for a stint a while ago and was a race winner, and he'd love now to take Rob Boston Racing to the top step of the podium. Up towards Rocket we go, another car that I think is possibly into the top 10 now, certainly on the fringes of it, is the Team Clapham North machine, started by Abby Eaton, again making incredible progress. A driver who did battle with Tom Roach actually back in the MX-5 days all those years ago, and Abby is once again doing what Abby Eaton seems to do best, and that is overtaking cars in the opening stint. She's immediately become one of the best in Fun Cup at gaining ground early on. There she is, look, right on the tail of this group. She's in behind the Vape Club car, which started the lap in 11th, so yeah, nearly into the top 10.
It's very rare, isn't it? You see a driver jump into Fun Cup and basically immediately be on the pace. Well, that's exactly what Abby has done, and it's been amazing to watch her take to the Fun Cup for this season. And in this race, once again, as you say, picking her way through the order very nicely. I think Greenheath all sorts of sideways over the curb, and there's almost contact at the first corner there with Uvio. Bold look up the inside from Uvio there. Well, Greenheath slammed the door in their face, and they just avoided contact.
I think they'd had a moment at the last corner together, and then they were sort of side by side into turn one, and neither wanted to give the place up, did they? Greenheath came out on top on that occasion, but that would have got Fabulous's blood pressure rising. There's damage to the front of the Greenheath car, and this is now surely Fabulous's chance, as Greenheath have gone wide over the grass. Through goes Randaccio, and in the end it was made a little bit easier for Randaccio than he thought it was going to be.
They're commentating with a live studio audience is a new one for us here, but they're thoroughly enjoying the race at the moment from up here. It's a lovely vantage point, isn't it? And we're watching all the racing unfold as we're three wide, almost more contact this time with PLR Uvio. That's with the Red River Sport car. Well, it's all kicking off in the mid-pack here because we have a lot of our top-rated drivers all finding themselves fighting over the same piece of tarmac.
We were having this discussion off air, weren't we, between the races. When we looked at the grid, there were so many cars at the back that we thought, yeah, they should be at the front really, and they're all kind of moving through the pack together and not necessarily getting along that well as they do so. Down through the corkscrew we go then on this, the 6th lap of the race. Fastest lap set by Tropical Rocket Racing, by the way, who are up into 3rd place. They're ahead of Sherrodice UK now, so the Tropical Rocket car, which was started by Neo Clark, went so well, didn't he, in the first stint in race 1, Neo Clark, and is continuing to do so in race 2, as we get this pretty tasty looking battle pack. Vlad Vasiliev defending, or trying to, from Tom Roach, but there's no stopping Tom, and he dives through on the inside at turn 2.
Yeah, Uvio had already gone through down at the corkscrew, and I think Rob Boston Racing crew knowing they need to get that move done ASAP, try and latch back on to the back of the Uvio car as they continue to press their way on through the order. And as you see there, that's what you need from your driver behind the wheel in this first stint, getting a move done, then immediately latching on to the next battle pack, rinse and repeat until you find yourself at the sharp end. That's the plan at least. Whether that works out, we'll have to wait and see. Well, we're not even 10 minutes into this race, and already it has been an exciting one, just like race number 1.
FFS there on the grass going through the Rocket Complex, and they're going to lose some ground as a result. They've got the Red River Sport car 200 alongside them, while there were at the start of the lap 3 cars between those two, so that shows you how much time they lost with that little grassy excursion up at Rocket. But thankfully no major damage done. I'm amazed we've not done more front splitters in over the first 10 minutes of this race. It's been, again, properly elbows out, but at the moment Sunoco Racing lead the way by a narrow margin there. So interestingly, as Red River Sport get hit to the side of FFS, that opens the door for Abby Eaton and maybe for Randaccio. Yep, sees the opportunity, and all those years of Fun Cup experience told him that he had to pounce then, and through indeed he did go. The point I was trying to make there, John, is that although Phil Keane's got the lead, he's not getting away from Track Focus and Tropical Rocket Racing, but they are distancing themselves slightly now from a lonely Sherrodice in 4th.
Indeed, yeah, Sherrodice finding themselves in a bit of no man's land now, as now it's the 207 Demon Tweaks leading the GCI car just behind them, and then the other 249 Demon Tweaks then leads basically the rest of the field, don't they, up Rocket? Here they are on your screens, heading up the long, not so straight, up towards Rocket, and there might be some more moves. Uvio looking to the inside, Abby defends, Abby now goes up the inside of the 220, surely there was contact, somehow they wasn't, and they all make it through. FFS continuing to defend there through the right-hander, that opens the door here for Uvio, and now it's a drag race into the following right-hander at the top of the hill. Who will get the place? Uvio up the inside, Abby will try and hang it round the outside, but nope, going to get get shoved out wide. Uvio, another place gained.
And more great opportunistic overtaking that from Randaccio. He read that situation well. Abby went on the attack and he just sort of let her go, knowing that that was probably going to open the door for him to come through as well, which it did. So Randaccio then up another spot. They're almost into the top 10 now, from 28th on the grid. They're 11th, would you believe? This has been a storming drive. It's fascinating, isn't it? The different approach teams have. GRD, we're so used to seeing them starting from the back of the grid, and Christabel just methodically sort of picks them off one by one, as Tim Wielder gets stuck in as well. Methodically picks them off one by one, and often Christabel will gain 7 or 8 places in that opening stint. Stick Fabulous Randaccio at the back, and he just wants to get to the front as quickly as possible, and he's so good at doing it.
He is indeed. You can see why they popped him in for this first stint. To be fair, you'd expect Farkini to do something pretty similar, wouldn't you? So that's a nice thing as well about having that two-man team where they're both so similarly matched. They know they can trust either one of them to get the job done. And as you say, Fabulous Randaccio doing it in this one with 3 wide under brakes. Contact on PLR Uvio. Round they go. That was a little bit too aggressive on the brakes there from FFS. Dove to the grass in avoidance, but it wasn't enough to get them stopped. They clip the PLR Uvio car, and good to see. They do get it back going. They will rejoin the pack, but quite a lot of time lost. And in this early part of the race, a bit of time lost like that, and you're losing heaps of positions.
Yeah, he knew he was in trouble there, Nick Heighton. He knew he was in too deep, slammed on the brakes, that locked the rears, and around he went. And unfortunately, Tim Wielden was in the way, and that was through no fault of Tim's own, but unfortunately, it has taken them down the order. Hopefully not too much damage done to the Uvio PLR car. There's the other Uvio car, the new Uvio if you prefer, and the 403 car is into, no, not into the, yes, it is into the top 10, 9th position for the 403. Next target, Signature RV, and they're only 12 seconds off the lead. This is remarkable. Not only are they gaining the positions, but there's next to no time lost to the leader. Yeah,
amazing. Of course, we've turned our attention away from the top 3 out front. They're still within a second of each other, but like you say, no massive gaps forming in this race. Very different to what we saw in race number 1, as there is PLR Uvio into the pits early.
Has that punctured a left rear tyre, or they're just taking the wheel off to investigate the suspension? It was the left rear corner, wasn't it, that took the hit, as FFS are quite early on the brakes this time into Rocket, funnily enough. Through go Abby Eaton and Tom Roach. Abby Eaton versus Tom Roach. I've waited a long time to see this battle reignited, and they're absolutely nose to tail now. The Clapham North car just ahead of the Rob Boston Racing with Rare Vinyl machine, but that is a rivalry that spans back about a decade, back to the MX5 Championship days, or Super Cup days actually, where Abby was a champion, Tom was a champion, and they were both battling at the front for a while in that series. This could be a pretty tasty scrap.
Indeed, like you say, reigniting that old battle, and those who continue on through this one. Some serious work going on down there for PLR Uvio, isn't it?
I think it's suspension, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. It didn't look like the hardest hit, did it? But still, it just shows, particularly on a particularly weak point of the car, that little knock can cause some serious issues.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my, 257! I just saw out of the window going completely sideways on the grass at the final corner. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a hard hit if it's right on the wheel. That puts so much stress through the suspension, through the drivetrain. Rear-wheel drive cars, of course, the Fun Cup machines, and yeah, that clearly has done some serious damage. What a shame, though. They never can seem to get any good luck, PLR, or Uvio PLR, as we now have to refer to them, and unfortunately that bad luck continues on into Anglesey.
That's a shame, obviously. We had our live studio audience, didn't we, of both the Uvio squads behind us. Well, one's gone downstairs very happy, the other one not quite so happy, sadly, as they've got a lot of work to do if they can get that car back out on circuit. I hope they can, but again, as we see them come into the garage, so I think the answer to that, sadly, is going to be a resounding no. What a shame then for PLR. Not getting too lucky in this second race of the day. But as they head into the pits, let's turn our attention back to the front,
where there's been a change for second. Tropical Rocket Racing into second position. That is Neo Clark continuing to do what he did at the start in race number 1, and he's now going to go toe-to-toe with Phil Keane. This is the great thing about Fun Cup, isn't it? If you're a relatively inexperienced driver, you can genuinely find yourself battling for position with legends of the sport, such as Phil Keane, and that is something that Neo Clark, I'm sure, is relishing the opportunity to do. He'll get into the slipstream now, heading up the school straight. I'm not sure he's quite close enough to overtake this time into Rocket, but he's certainly going to close in and give Phil Keane something to think about here.
100% you will. We know how much the Tropical Rocket Racing squad loves the move up into Rocket, but this time, as you say, not quite close enough. We'll have to rethink that one, but their pace has been brilliant over the last sort of 5 or 6 laps now, I think we can say, as we're starting to settle into this race a little bit more. But it is Tropical Rocket Racing with the fastest lap so far. They've made that move on Track Focus, who again were another team who was silently very impressive in that first race earlier on. But now, can Tropical Rocket Racing find their way through into the lead? It's going to be easier said than done. I mean, firstly, because the driver of the Sunoco Racing is rather quick to say the least, but also just for the fact of the tactics that will then continue to play out as well as, oh dear, someone facing the wrong direction there, up at Rocket.
That's Phil Ellis-Smith again. He had a moment in his stint earlier on, didn't he? It's not been a happy hunting ground for Phil Anglesey, has it?
Was it the same corner as well, if I'm not mistaken?
You might be right.
I think so. I think it was up at Rocket, so less than ideal. We'll welcome back. Sadly, not quite going so well here today at Anglesey, but either way, we continue to press on. 15 minutes now completed with this race, which means we're over halfway towards our first pit window of this race as well. But I think first thing on the tick list for Tropical Rocket is a move for the lead. Here we go, up the straight. They're going to get sent to the outside line here by Sunoco. Can they hang it round the outside? We've seen them do it already in this race as they almost get squeezed there. A little bit nervous there to send it to the outside for 157, but they're going to go for it anyway. Lovely on the brakes. They get shoved to the dust on the inside, but they're going to make it stick. Nice move and a change for the lead once more.
You're right, though. This team have got that move down, haven't they? To the outside into Rocket to get the inside for the right-hander. Other teams have tried it and they can't get the car stopped or they get squeezed out, but even with two wheels in the dirt there, Neo Clark was able to go through. So Tropical Rocket Racing, with another move at the outside at the corner seemingly named for them, are into the lead of the race, and Neo Clark now has to try and keep Phil Keen behind him. That's sometimes harder than getting past him in the first place, actually, so I think this is going to be a battle that continues. You can see the RBR logo on the front of the Sunoco car, Rob Boston Racing, so it's a teammate car to the Rob Boston Racing with Rare Vinyl car, which is into the top 10, question mark? Yes, it is, 10th position now for Tom Roach. Still behind Abby Eaton, though, interestingly, so they're continuing to move forward, but Tom hasn't got the better of her yet.
Indeed, yeah, they've lost a few seconds, haven't they, now to UVO? I mean, only about 3, so nothing huge, but still, UVO just starting to break away from those teams that he started nearby on the grid for this one. You know, as you say, Tropical Rocket have got that move sorted, haven't they? I mean, Rocket, very fitting for the Anglesey circuit. Tropical, less so, but it's been nice for today.
Days.
I mean, yeah, we've all had worse days at Anglesey than this. It's been positively tropical, to be fair, but either way, Tropical Rocket into the lead then, and we'll look a little bit further back for now. We were just chatting about this lot, Rob Boston Racing, and then Abby Eaton just ahead for Clapham North, and they are catching up now to the Mintshaws. There's a little grab of the brake there for the 249, up into Rocket once more, and it really is the 146 and the 169 now knocking on the door, trying to find their way through on the 249, and the longer they take, the further away UVO Hoffmans will get.
Yeah, and you might think, okay, it's a 3-hour race, so what if they lose 4 or 5 seconds to the cars ahead? But we've seen, haven't we, it's so difficult to bridge that kind of a gap later on, and this is why there's so much aggression in this opening stint. Back in the day, we didn't have this sort of level of aggression. If you were quick and you knew you were one of the 3 or 4 potential race-winning cars, you could take your time. There were going to be safety cars, there were going to be opportunities through strategy maybe to gain huge chunks of time in the pit lane, but now everyone operates at such a high level all of the time, you can't guarantee that you'll ever get those 4 or 5 seconds back, even over a 3-hour race. So you've got to go, and you've got to go now. And so Abby Eaton will want to try and get past Jason Minshaw this time up the back straight. That Demon Tweaks car, by the way, sporting damage to the front bodywork again. It's the left-hand side this time, but they can't seem to keep that front splitter in one piece, can they?
No, indeed. A little bit of rubbing on these first few laps, and you saw they were a bit slidey there through that very fast right-hander onto the back, not so straight. And now Rob Boston Racing giving Clapham North the push up towards Rocket, both of them getting through before they even get to the braking zone. That now shuffles Demon Tweaks back down into 10th place, and you can see just ahead, heading through the right-hander, UVO Hoffmans are now onto the rear bumper of GCI, and that in turn then means they're right with Demon Tweaks 2 as well. So amazing, like you mentioned earlier, the fact that UVO started this race in dead last. We're 20 minutes in and they're 11 seconds off the leader.
Yes, and they've gained a second and a half since I last took a note of the time 3 or 4 laps ago, so they're not only gaining places, but they're actually quicker than the leader right now, which is still Neo Clark in the Tropical Rocket Racing car. Phil Keen still second for Sunoco Racing. Track Focus still third with Sean Cooper. The next group is now a trio again, I think. No, sorry, Sheridies are still on their own, aren't they? In fourth. So, to be fair, actually, to Peter Belshaw, as there goes Fabulous up the inside of GCI. That's for 6th position. Yeah, to be fair to Peter Belshaw, he's not quite as quick as the leaders, but he's quicker than the cars behind. He's keeping to himself there in 4th. Demon Tweaks are 5th, and it is now Uvio into 6th position. I suspect that's going to be 5th before too much longer.
I suspect so indeed. Yeah, we continue to watch and wait. As you still there, Uvio, an aggressive move to the inside there, down through turn number 2, but either way, gets it done, and now they're sent to the outside line. Can they pull off a tropical rocket racing move? They're going to go very late on the brakes. A little bit too deep there from Fabulous, and he undoes all his hard work from early on in the lap.
Oh dear, well that's all we'll remember about this stint now. That time he missed his braking point up at Rocket Corner. He'll have plenty of opportunity to get the places back, I'm sure, but that is a little bit unfortunate, because this is now going to be another lap or two maybe. Well, at his rate, probably another lap spent trying to get past these two cars, and that's another lap in which the leaders can just start to eke out maybe a little bit more of an advantage. Down through the corkscrew they go, and out onto the main straights. There is a black and white warning flag for 251, so that's Sheridai's UK. So I was just singing Peter Belshaw's praises, but he has been exceeding track limits once too often. If he does it again, that will be a time penalty.
Indeed it will, and now GCI looking to defend from Uvio down into turn 2. Of course, that is exactly where Uvio made the move last lap, and GCI didn't want it to happen 2 laps in a row. They cover the inside line, and for now, they hold on to the place. Yeah, like you say, Sheridai's there testing the limits of the circuit on multiple occasions. Just a warning for now, but that could turn into a penalty. We saw a few of those in race number 1, and to be getting the warning this early on in the race leads you to believe that surely over the next 2 hours and 37 minutes they're going to do a few more and they're going to get a penalty. But we shall wait and see.
I think it resets. We'll get to that in a moment. GCI have outbraked themselves this time, and almost sideswiped the Uvio car. Was there contact then? I think they just got away with it, but that was a clumsy moment through Rocket. They're really struggling, aren't they, to get the car stopped up there in this race for whatever reason, but Demon Tweaks then come out of that still with a slight advantage. To the subject of track limits, I think they reset it every pit window. That vaguely rings a bell, so that you don't end up inheriting a penalty from someone else. I might be getting my championships mixed up. You've raced in the series, you should know better than me.
I don't think so, okay. Because I've definitely served a penalty that has been gotten by another person in my team.
That's your story and you're sticking to it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But so I don't know. I thought it carried over, and it was for the car rather than the person. But could be wrong.
I think I may be getting mixed up with something else. British GT, I know they do a reset at every stint. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, well, there you go. They do have to be careful then not to do that again. I must correct myself, though. I said it was a time penalty. It's not, is it, of course? It's a stop-go penalty, I think, isn't it, for track limits. And I'm sure the PLR Uvio car picked up one of those penalties after only one stint earlier on this afternoon. So it does happen if you are pushing a little bit too hard at this stage. Right, here comes Fabulous. I said it would be another lap before he got past these two. It's actually been a bit longer than that, and he still hasn't got the move made. Ian Wood goes round the outside of Demon Tweaks. He's not stopping that, is he? And the GCI car for the second lap in a row outbrakes itself and nearly sideswipes Abby Eaton's Clapham North machine this time, which goes round the outside through the second part of Rocket. That puts her on the outside again through Peel. Is she going to have the grip on the outside of a slightly off-cambered corner? They're leaning on each other. She's still there though, and will now have the inside line at least for the first part of the corkscrew. Is she going to go by? Yes, she is. Abby Eaton then gets the place away, and Clapham North move up to 7th position as they round the corkscrew once again. This to complete the 18th lap of the race. A sensational battle going on here, but I tell you what, Fabulous Randaccio, all of that early progress he's made is now starting to become a little bit harder to continue, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yeah, that gap to the leader now has changed from 11 seconds almost up to 14 seconds. Of course, hampered by that little mistake up at Rocket a few laps ago. Well, the same thing's now happened to GCI, so one position gain back then for Uvio, and now right onto the rear bumper of Demon Tweaks 2 as we head through this next lap of proceedings. A little bit slidey there from the Demon Tweaks 2 car, and Uvio will use that slipstream all the way up the back straight, and surely we'll see that move up into Rocket. Crucially though, they'll try and not go wide. We've seen that now twice in the last 2 laps, one from Uvio and one from GCR. Well, this time it's the inside line for Uvio, and Abby Eaton might just try and follow them through as well. Not quite going to happen. Room given between those two, and that allows for Demon Tweaks 2 to slot in behind once more. But now we have a 5-car train here at the sharp end, and look who's on the back of it once more. It's Rob Boston Racing who's made this a 5-car train now, so our drivers who are on the front row of the grid for race number 1 are now bookending this little battle.
Oh, Abby Eaton there with a late lunge to the inside of the Demon Tweaks machine, but there's no way through. Michael Lyons there, very experienced historic racer, of course, Michael Lyons, but he's a pretty feisty driver, and he wasn't going to allow Abby through, so defends the position, and of course this is now letting Fabulous Randaccio get away, so having hit the front, he's able to unlock the pace that he showed earlier on in this stint. He's got a 5-second or so gap to try and bridge now to Sherrodice. Peter Belshaw still a bit lonely in 4th, although I fear for his sake he won't be that lonely for too much longer. We are 4 minutes away from the opening pit window. It's been another very lively first half an hour of the race, and at the front of the field, Tropical Rocket and Sunoco Racing getting away slightly now from Sean Cooper in the track focus machine. A second between the second and third place cars at the beginning of this lap. I suspect maybe Neo Clark and Phil Keane are, dare I say it, working together and starting to pull a gap at the front. There's no working together going on here, though, as Abby Eaton and Ian Wood nipped to the inside of the 207.
They all got it stopped though. Yep. No one went wide. It was good battling there up at Rocket once again as we press on. It was bold of you to say those two words, working together, in the Fun Cup, but we shall see. Because often you find when drivers are that close on pace, and as we saw they're going onto this lap, less than 4 tenths between the two of them, it's often difficult not to end up overtaking the driver that you're on circuit with. But of course in these Fun Cup cars you do often see a push as well. I mean, we saw that go very wrong in race number 1 with C Data spinning off up the back straight, but if you can get a nice contact patch on the back and you're both facing in the same direction when you make contact, you can make it work. But like we say, you can easily trip over each other, as well as there might have been a bit of tripping over each other there as Sherrodice tried to make their way through on G-Force and put a lap on them. They closed to the inside line there, and there might have been a bit of contact. Well, there was up there. PLR Uvio shedding more bits of bodywork, more issues for them, and that's a bit of a rarity that you see one of the front wheel covers there coming off. But clearly, I think we can assume what's happened up there at Rocket. There's been a bit of contact with another car, and that has ripped part of the splitter off. Not the bit we usually see get ripped off, but there you go. It's not been an ideal race for PLR Uvio so far, has it?
No, that's their outlap, isn't it, from the pit lane?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So they've immediately had more trouble and more contact up at the top of the hill. Maybe a legacy of the damage they sustained earlier on, which meant they couldn't stop the car. But anyway, they're into the pit lane, aren't they?
And the 257. 257 has quite a bit of damage. So these are the two that have made contact. Yeah. 257 is going straight but facing sideways. So some serious issues for them. Clearly, those are the two that have had contact, if I can get my words out, up at Rocket. Neither fighting for position. Both have had issues already in this race, and well, it's gotten worse for both of them, hasn't it? And the day has gotten worse for the 257. 2 races to forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Red River Sport then with the team going to work, but that's quite a lot of damage to the rear suspension. That's going to be a fairly lengthy visit to the garage, I suspect. So a bit more attrition in this first stint once again as we tick ever closer to our first round of pit stops. And out towards Church Corner comes, I think, a side-by-side battle. No, that was G-Force being lapped by Fabulous Randaccio. How do his lap times compare then to Sherrodice UK? He was a second quicker than them on the previous lap. So Randaccio, again, now he's in clean air, is the form man, isn't he?
He is indeed, as we would expect. Very experienced driver, multiple championships won, and now looking to scamper off from these drivers close in behind as they all try and find their way around the G-Force car. They're up at Rocket. They all do just about manage to get around the outside. There is a ridiculous amount of pieces of vehicle up there at Rocket. Huge bits of bodywork and things all strewn across the track surface there at Rocket. And honestly, that's to the point where drivers might need to be a bit careful, because there might be some bits there that if they run over them could cause a puncture, and that will of course be very, very race defining. So for the moment, no yellow flags I don't even think about there, as I've just seen looking out the window marshals running over to retrieve those bits of bodywork. Once again, fantastic work from all the marshals here at Anglesey, as they've got a couple of cars coming up on them. Hopefully they'll be scampering back behind the barriers in a moment. They are, but they've grabbed the big bits, and that was the main thing.
Yes, indeed. So the cars then are making their way back up to that part of the circuit, and it's such a brave job the marshals do, isn't it, to go out onto a live racetrack and clear the bodywork away without the necessity for a safety car. You certainly wouldn't catch me doing it, put it that way.
Not a chance.
Then it goes Tom Roach past the 207. 207 have started slipping back a bit, haven't they, in the last couple of laps or so. and they just lost a position there to the 169. So that's 8th position now for Tom Roach, as the first pit window of the race does indeed now open. And we will wait and see who blinks first. I suspect it will be the usual suspects, won't it? The likes of Vape Club and GRD, who will want to try and get their first driver changes done as early as possible. Where are those two cars, I hear you ask? Well, Vape Club Morpheus Motorsport are 15th. Vlad Vasiliev will hand over, I'm guessing, to Ted Bradbury. No, he's double stinting again, as they did earlier, so actually they might come in a bit later. And GRD, 21st, and again, they're a long way off the leaders now. Okay, they've not had a spin and sustained any damage this time, but around such a short lap, you can't afford to lose too much track position, can you, to the leading cars?
Very true, very true. But again, I think they would have been going into this stint with Chris behind the wheel with the same thought that they went into race number 1. Of course, it didn't quite go to plan in race number 1, but it will be the same plan for this one. Keep your nose clean, keep out of trouble, get it back to the pit stop on the lead lap, hand over to the other drivers, and we'll see how we go from there. And at the moment, Chris Devell doing a good job of that, as you say, just outside of the top 20 at the moment. As now we look back to these two race leaders. Well, to be fair, actually are 3 race leaders, aren't they? Just took track focused one extra corner, I think, to get round the back marker there, which is just allowed for Tropical Rocket Racing and Sunoco Racing to break ever so slightly clear, but still track focused very much in with a shout. I hadn't noticed as well that track focus had stolen the fastest lap back away from Tropical Rocket Racing, so clearly they are finding some good pace out there. These 3, as you say, in quotation marks, working together, whether out of choice or not, I don't know, but either way, they're all 3 continuing to move on ahead out sharp end, and now almost 9 seconds clear of Sherrod, who are a very impressive outfit in and of themselves. So to be clearing off by 9 seconds from them, very impressive from these 3 teams, and their first drivers have sort of set the tone for the rest of the race for their teams in a very positive way.
Yeah, yes, most definitely so. Just to continue the point I was making about GRD, 21st place, 44 seconds off the lead. Now that is fine if we get a safety car, but we only got one safety car very late in the day in race 1, so they're sort of banking on getting one a bit earlier than that. They're 36 seconds behind Uvio, for example, who realistically they'd expect to be battling for the victory. So it's quite a chunk of time that they've got to try and find now over the remaining 2 hours and 27 minutes of the race. And in fact they are in now, so Chris Devell is in to hand over to Simon Rudd, and I'm seeing this out of the window, but they are about to conduct their first driver change of the race at pretty much the first possible opportunity. There's no fuel going into that car. It's not the slickest of stops, this, by GRD standards. That was 3 or 4 seconds longer than they normally spend stationary, but they do get the car back out underway, and in clean air. This is not clean air, though, up at Rocket Corner.
Indeed, it's not. No, that's the Vape Club car trying to go to the outside, and thus then the inside for the following right-hander. They're on Signature RV, not quite able to do it. This is just outside of the top 10. 12th, 13th, and 14th are these cars, as more drivers pitting in. One of those is Sherrod UK, so they pit in from 4th place. We've got exposure lights in the pits as well, so already a couple of the teams then from the top 10 peeling in for an early stop, but as we would expect, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the top teams staying out, trying to eke it out to the end of the window, hoping for a potential safety car. Of course, we only had that one, as you just said, late on in the first race. We would have expected one maybe to come a bit faster in this one, but as of now, it's looking good. As of now.
You spent 3 hours trying to jinx it earlier on, and nothing really happened until the end, so I think you might be safe to make
I've lost my
like
commentator powers, Andy. I don't know what's going on.
Saying nothing. Yeah, let's see what happens. I said normally one race has a safety car and the other one doesn't, so we had one in the end earlier on. The Anglesey average is 2.5. I know you can't have half a safety car, but you know what I mean. So somewhere between 2 or 3 safety cars a race is the Anglesey average, but that has been coming down over recent years, but it's been coming down as a general rule in Fun Cup over recent years. 3 or 4 years ago, I think we'd only had maybe 2 races in history where we hadn't had a safety car. Since then, we've had 4 or 5. So, again, driving standards improve, the level of competitive racing improves, but the chance of safety cars goes down.
Indeed. Yeah, it has been. I've definitely noticed that as well. But, of course, as you say, with the calibre of driver continuing to increase here in the Fun Cup, understandably so, that we get cleaner racing and less safety cars. Although, saying that, 2 3-hour races in a day, that's a tough one, not only on the drivers, but on the cars themselves as well. So you would expect there maybe to be more mechanical issues in this second race of the day as well. Whether we see that or not, we'll have to wait and see. We've got 2.5 hours for these cars to conk out. I'm sure they won't. They're built very, very well by the guys at JPR, but you never know. After 6 hours of racing these things, absolutely white lining it through the entirety of 6 hours, it puts a lot of strain and stress on those parts, so you might just see some falling by the wayside. We wait and see. Also, adding to that point, in the fact of you've got 2 3-hour races in a day, as Race Logic have just pulled their way into their pit box. If you've got 2 3-hour races in a day, you would expect the drivers to be a little bit more relaxed, don't know if that's the right word to use, for race number 1, and then for race 2 you think, well, we don't need to use this car for a month, so if it all goes wrong, it all goes wrong. We can be a bit more aggressive. But to be fair, I would have expected that more in the first stint, and it didn't really come. Really, really interesting racing, but all very fair as well, which is good to see. But as we continue on through this first pit stop period of the race, that doesn't look good for the 99.
No, that's something broken on the rear of the Litek car, and that is such a shame. They went really well in the race earlier on today, but Litek number 99 in trouble. They have made a pit stop, so it's Christian Rose in the car. They could have only just made that pit stop, but that looks like something broken in the left rear suspension, and that car's going to have a very slow and very crab-like lap back to the pit lane. So then hopefully we'll be able to stay out of everyone's way and get the car back under its own power. That is a real shame. The leaders there go by and put them a lap down, as they have distanced themselves from everyone else, but that's because actually 2 cars directly behind them have both made a pit stop. We've had 15 races in Fun Cup Championship history, so since 2011 when it became a championship, which have been safety car free. 2 of those at Anglesey. One was actually the first race last year. Of those 15 races, 10 of them in the last 5 years. So again, just goes to show the last 5 years, the step forward the championship has made is absolutely remarkable, not only in level of competition, but driver standards and reliability, to be fair as well. Massively improving. But yeah, twice in championship history has happened here at Anglesey, and it did happen in race 1 of the weekend a year ago. Didn't happen in race 1 today. Does that mean maybe race 2 is going to be the maybe not calmer one, but maybe the slightly more drama-free one?
Oh, we shall have to wait and see, shouldn't we? Well, here is Simon Rudd then, back behind the wheel of the number 1 car as he puts a move there on the 249 Demon Tweaks machine. Yeah, of course, we're speaking about lack of safety cars, but we've still got over 2 hours of this one left to go, so let's not call anything too soon, eh? But as I mentioned, more likely for mechanical issues as well, and we immediately see that from Litek. We didn't see whether it was due to contact or simply something going wrong, but either way, a real shame there for the 99. They were mightily impressive in race number 1. Of course, assisted by the fact Christian Rose is in the car, who's a very experienced peddler, but nonetheless, the 99 car has been getting better and better throughout this year. I've been impressed to see, and a real shame for them not making it, well, I was going to say not making it to the end of the race. They could still get the car back out, but they're going to be a number of laps down.
I spoke to Christian between races, and he was full of praise for Shea Brennan, his teammate. He said he's not that experienced, but he's very, very quick, and he said actually he set a faster lap time than Christian did in the car. So says it all, really, doesn't it? But unfortunately, the car is now broken. I'm not going to say Christian broke it, but it has now broken, and it means unfortunately they're going to be in the pit lane for a little while, not taking any further part in a battle for a really good position anyway.
Wait, are you trying to say that he said, if I crash the car, you can't go faster than me in this one?
I'm contractually not allowed to say. I want to get paid this weekend, and so that's why I'm not suggesting who may or may not have been to blame.
Either way, sadly, 99 into the pits a little bit earlier than they would have expected and that they would have hoped. New fastest lap of the race coming through then for Rob Boston with Rare Vinyl, a 1:18.6, that new fastest lap of the race. And as we say, they're only a few, well, now tenths of a second really, off of the back of Clapham North. We're still waiting for the entirety of that top 5 and of course top 6 to make their way into the pits, which should be happening relatively shortly. Only about 40 seconds until that pit window closed board will be going out, as we see Paul Turner jumping out of the car. So that means Gary Bate is back in. Gary, all of those tyres look well inflated to me, so you should be fine for this one, Gary. I'm so sorry, Gary. Please don't watch this race back. I'm going to get so much stick from him for that one. Sorry, Gary. Off he goes for his stint. And also, just to say, Greenheath throughout that race was so impressive. Just some slight miscommunication, I think, at points between car and team. But either way, these things happen in endurance racing, and they're back out in this one. Let's see what they can do. As you just pointed downwards, and I see on the screen that Sunoco are in. I assume that was the same point.
Yes, and they were the leader at the time, interestingly, so they've got the lead on their in-lap by the looks of it. It had been Tropical Rocket, hadn't it, that were in front, but Phil Keane had pulled the pin on his in-lap just to prove a point, came in 24 thousandths of a second ahead of Tropical Rocket, which means he must have been a bit further ahead than that, because he would have had to slow down for the pit lane before the timing line. That car pitting right at the far end of the pit lane. Now, where does it come out in relation to some of those with whom they were battling earlier on? Track Focused in particular, who were on the back of that lead group. Well, they've left the pit lane already. Sherrodize have come through, but Track Focused are behind Sherrodize, so Track Focused have had a much slower pit stop than the leaders. Now, that could be because they took fuel. I'll be honest, I didn't spot that. Maybe Jamie could update us, but Track Focused early losers, you'd have to say, at least of track position for the time being in this cycle of stops.
Indeed. Yeah, we'll have to double check as to whether there was a little bit of fuel for them or not, or whether something just went wrong in the stop and they lost a few seconds and thus have dropped that little bit further back. But either way, still they're ahead of GCI at the moment. So yeah, like we say, dropping, what is that? Yeah, 9 seconds almost behind the Sherrodize UK car. So I think overall that must mean probably about 20 seconds lost there overall, because Sherrodize were a good few seconds behind when they ended up pitting in. So yeah, big change there. Track Focus still well and truly in with a shout of this race though, but we wait and watch as Tropical Rocket Racing now come in for their stop. So to UVO Hoffman's Motorsport. Clearly both teams have seen that pit lane close board, and they're in at the final possible time of asking, as here comes Sunoco down the hill.
Yes, UVO being shown as setting the fastest lap on their in-lap, but that will not count. It's a shorter run through the final corner by pitting in, and the pit lane speed limiter is not till after the corner, so it is a time gain. Out goes Tropical Rocket Racing across the line, have gone Sunoco Racing, and they're about to be overtaken, actually, by Sherrodize. So Sherrodize are up to third, but they could be second by the time this is all sort of panned out, I reckon. So Tropical Rocket have got a pretty much uncontested lead now. UVO are going to be second, actually, aren't they?
Yep.
And it's going to be third for Sherrodize?
Indeed.
Mark? Yes,
yep.
it is.
Yeah, Sherrodize third, then Sunoco fourth. And yeah, Sherrodize, they've really pressed on straight out of the pits, and they're now looking on towards the lead of the race. Oh, hold on a second. Rob Boston Racing are in between them in the 169.
Yes,
so
there.
Yes, sorry. Fair play. You've seen it a lot better than me, Andy. My apologies.
I didn't trust my own eyes, though. I wasn't. There are quite a lot of white and blue cars. That's the problem. So I was waiting for a positive ID on that. So yeah, so Rob Boston Racing, wow, back row of the grid, and they're in third place, we think.
Is it third or fourth?
Oh well, yes, because where's
fourth.
Clapham North in all of this?
Clapham North are behind, definitely behind. I saw them come out much further behind than the likes of Tropical Rocket. So I think they've dropped down to either fifth or sixth place, I think, in all of that.
I'm going to use the timing screen, John, to tell the people at home and around the track what the order is, because I've lost complete track of where some of these leaders are. Tropical Rocket Racing are leading. That we knew. Second is UVO Hoffman's Motorsport. Sherrodize have a drive-through penalty for reasons undisclosed at the moment, but they have a drive-through penalty. I'm guessing a pit lane infringement. We'll get to that in a moment. So Tropical Rocket lead the way. UVO Hoffman's Motorsport second. Rob Boston Racing are indeed in third. Sherrodize fourth, but have a penalty to serve. That will mean Sunoco Racing inherit fourth, ahead of GCI. Clapham North are seventh then at the moment. Track Focus 207 is eighth. Track Focus Demon Tweaks 207 is eighth. Track Focus is ninth, and Vape Club Morpheus into 10th now. So Vlad Vasiliev still in that car, remember, going really well. FFS are stopping. FFS are stopping on the pit straight, and this is certainly going to be that early safety car that we feared might happen. It's happening off camera. There it is, in the picture as we see Sherrodize blast past Rob Boston Racing there to claim a third place they will have to give back with a penalty. But FFS, for the second race in a row, John, have hit early trouble, and this time the car is stranded at the side of the road.
Oh, what a shame for FFS. We were hoping for better fortunes for them in this one. Of course, they've been super impressive throughout their career in the Fun Cup so far, continuously getting better, really becoming a formidable force at the sharp end. But sadly, yet again, they're not going to make it to the end of this race. I think another car has just pulled into the box as well that won't be finishing this race.
I didn't actually clock who that was. That was Red River Sport, number 200, but a car is about to leave the pit lane with some orange lights flashing on its roof. The safety car is being prepared, and that car is going to be heading out onto the circuit to pick up hopefully the leader this time, and we will indeed get our first pit stop of the safety car of the race, I should say.
I was just thinking, I was like, oh, okay, it's the 200. It's the one that already had issues. No, it's not. Both Red River Sports are now in the garage. What a shame. Well, we thought this might be a bit more of a race of attrition, given it's the second race of the second 3-hour race of the day. Well, for the moment, that's being proven right, isn't it?
Yeah. There is the safety car. They're waiting for the leader, who is Tropical Rocket Racing. I've been saying that perfectly all day until now. You can tell it's been a long day. Tropical Rocket Racing then are the leader. They're somewhere up at the top end of the circuit, so the safety car just waiting to make sure it definitely picks up the leading car. But we are going to neutralise the race momentarily so that the FFS car can be recovered. I'm not sure, but it looked like maybe that car was crabbing slightly as it slowed, so maybe they've had some contact to the rear as well. Either way, the safety car is now scrambled, the race is neutralised, and the race leader is not actually the next car to come out of the final corner, but it's the car behind that. And this is exactly what teams like Vape Club Morpheus, like GRD, were hoping to have: an early safety car to bunch the field back together and undo a lot of the damage that was done by their lowly starting positions.
Indeed. They're going to wade through the G-Force team. So round they go past the safety car. They'll join the back of the train, and now the safety car will pick up the 157 of Tropical Rocket Racing. So all drivers back into one long train then, and we can maybe have a bit of more of a deep dive into who have been our teams who have elevated themselves through the field, not only in that first stint, but of course in that first round of pit stops as well, and maybe some teams who have dropped down the order due to issues, mistakes and whatnot. We'll give you a little idea then as the rest of the drivers join the back of the train as we close up then into one single file line. That 220 car still parked up outside of our commentary box window, and we can imagine hopefully shouldn't be too difficult to get that one out of harm's way. Hopefully just a case of dragging along back to safety. But either way, a neutralisation much early on in this second race of the day than we had in race number 1. To be expected, but we've seen it then with only 45 minutes of the race completed. And actually, depending on how long this safety car period is, we could start getting close to the next safety car window. I think, given it's a relatively simple job, we should be okay. But, hey, let's wait and see.
Yep, you never know. If there's a complication getting the tow hook attached or something, then maybe there could be a delay. A couple of updates from the pit lane, by the way. It is a drive shaft problem for FFS. That's what stopped them. We spoke about this in race 1. In race 2, it's always more likely to happen because we've already done a 3-hour race earlier on today. It was a carburettor issue for 210 Race Logic, so they've been in and out of the pit lane a couple of times. It's a carburettor issue, says Jamie, for them. 200 is a power steering issue, and he also spoke to Sean Cooper of Track Focused fame, and he had contact with Phil Keane that damaged the splitter, and the guys spent extra time in the pit lane sorting that. That's why they had a slow stop. So it wasn't fuel, it was repair work being done for the front splitter. But I'll tell you who this is a disaster for, John. Sherrodize UK. Remember, they've got a pit lane penalty to serve for exceeding track limits, it was. We've had that confirmed. And they haven't taken it. Now, as far as I'm aware, you can't serve that behind the safety car. If they'd have done it before the safety car, they'd have regained a lot of the time they lost. They wouldn't have lost as much track position. Now they're going to have to do it pretty much as soon as the safety car comes in, and that's going to send them plummeting down the order.
Indeed. That's another query. Is there... I never got a penalty because I'm such a good boy, but is there I assume there's a set amount of time that you must serve that penalty within. You can't just sort of, I don't think you can just wait the next 20 minutes, allow for the field to extend. They go, okay, now I'll take it. So yeah, as you say, this is going to hamper their race a lot more than maybe it could have been if they'd taken it immediately. But did they even have the time to do so? No onus on the driver there in 4th place. But yeah, like you say, when they do end up taking it now, it's going to hamper their race a lot more than it would have done pre-safety car. But again, that's totally out of their hands.
I mean, it always used to be 3 laps, didn't it? But I don't know whether that's ever been updated. It might vary championship to championship. And here, because you can't serve it under the safety car, I suspect there is something in the regs that says it extends beyond the end of the safety car period. We'll try and figure that out for you if we can. Right, the car has been moved out of the way, but we've got just about enough time, I think, to head down and hear from Jamie, even, who's catching up with Wendy Ellis-Smith.
I am, Andy, yes, thanks. I'm with Wendy now. Welcome back. We've all missed you. We know you've been in the wars a little bit, but it's great to see you back out there.
I've missed everybody too. I mean, so much that we were at Alton, even though we weren't racing, and we've been following it all. So, and then obviously I wasn't meant to be racing this weekend, but I've snuck my way back into the team, and it's just brilliant. It is like one big family. Love it.
Well, you're saying it at short notice. You found out at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I went to scrub some tyres in. I volunteered myself to scrub the tyres in, and I was having so much fun. Then I didn't want to stop.
And you were quicker than a certain husband?
Yeah, yesterday, but you know what? He's pulled his finger out today. I know he can do it now. And yeah, so I'll be gunning for him on my next session. I'll probably overdrive now, which is even worse, isn't it?
And how have you found, because obviously you had a little bit of time away, how have you found the Hankook tyres? Because it's probably the first time you've driven on them.
Yeah, really good. I mean, it's interesting. We were dry, which is good, even though they tested a little bit on Thursday when it was wet. But I really like they move around a bit more, which is good. We're on our second set. We haven't changed. We haven't put new ones on, so they're pretty robust. And the new paddles are different as well, and they're good. Like them.
What's the plan for the rest of the year? Paul hinting it might just be a one-off at the moment, but it's all budget relating.
Yeah, a little bit of that, and we'd love to come back out and do some more, obviously. So it's addictive. Can't help it.
It is. So they've been stuck with me for the last 10 years, so it's got to be. But it's great to see you both back. We've missed Paul and Wendy, and yeah, it's the original Fun Cup, Mr. and Mrs. We need to have another versus again, don't we?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Put me in a car with Michelle, she'll smash it.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Wendy. And as we turn round, Christian Rose, as they've got the left rear corner fixed, and Lee Tech are heading back out, guys.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Yeah, good to hear from Wendy Ellis-Smith. And like Jamie said, good to have the Ellis-Smiths back involved in the Fun Cup folds once again. As was mentioned, might just be a one-off. Hopefully we do see them back out more regularly. I've had a good few battles myself with Wendy when I used to race back in the Fun Cup a few years ago. She is a very experienced peddler, is Wendy, and it was great to have a few battles with her. I remember one back at Snetterton where we were ding-donging for almost the entirety of the stint, and I just couldn't seem to get a move done. Every time I made a move, she'd just get me back in the next corner, so it was a great race. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but she's not out in the car at the moment. Hopefully we do see her later on in this one. But the drivers continue on round behind the safety car as we have been. I think the car is almost back to safety now, the FFS car. We saw it was being dragged around for the entirety of a lap, and I can see it on the other side of the pit boxes down here. So it is indeed back to safety, and that'll mean that the safety car lights should be going out this time around, and hopefully we'll go straight back to green flag racing. Well, the order has well and truly changed, hasn't it, since you went to the initial race start just less than an hour ago. Tropical Rocket Racing will be the ones leading us to the lights, and who would have thunk it? UVO Hoffman's Motorsport. Like Andy said, they've got the fastest lap. Not that lap doesn't really count because they went into the pits for that 1:18.6 a lap or so ago. But who would have thought that they would be the ones starting right behind the leader on this race restart after starting this one right at the back, courtesy of their victory from earlier's race? Well, we know they take to a Fun Cup race start pretty well to the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport lads. Let's see how they take to this one, because of course Tropical Rocket have been very fast and pretty feisty themselves. They're not going to want to lose this race lead, but equally they're not going to want to waste lots of time battling with UVO. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. Sadly, we won't be restarting this time around. Lights are still on the safety car, so still something else to sort. We'll go around for another lap behind the safety car before we get ready to get this one underway. Even with another extra lap, I think we'll just about get the race started before we go to the next pit window.
Yes, but it's going to be very congested, isn't it, when we get to that pit window? I wonder whether some of those further back in the queue might bail early
100%.
to try and get out of the dirty air and into some cleaner air. There are marshals on the exit of turn 1 clearing some debris off the track. That's the reason for the slight extension to the safety car. Good opportunity this, though, to clear the track. We don't know when if we'll get another safety car period, and so the race control just using this opportunity to clear the track and make sure that everything is as clean as possible ahead of a resumption of racing, which hopefully will be next time round. So the field then head up through the banking. Tropical Rocket Racing leading, UVO Hoffman's Motorsport in second, would you believe, from 28th on the grid, and Rob Boston Racing from 27th on the grid are into third position. Sheridi's fourth, Sunoco Racing fifth, GCI Racing sixth, Clapham North seventh. This is good for Clapham North, I would argue, because they'll be able to get Abby Eaton back into that car in about 5 minutes' time. and they're not going to have lost a huge amount of track position in the meantime, are they? So they're going to be right back in it, I think, in the next stint of the race. Demon Tweaks number 207 car is 9th, and similarly, Vape Club, Ted Bradbury is getting into that car next. So I think Clapham North and Vape Club, big winners out of this situation. GRD, ironically, slight losers. Yes, they've gained a lot of time, but they're losing Simon Rudd's driving time here, aren't they? Behind the safety car, although they've probably gained more time thanks to the safety car than Simon would ever have gained on his own. So I think they'll take this as a net win, won't they?
I think they will. I think they will overall. Like you say, losing a bit of driving time for Simon, which is a shame, not only for the team overall, but for Simon himself as well, having spent all this time sat behind the safety car. But it is what it is. You draw your stint, whatever happens in it. Whatever happens in it. You just deal with what happens out there on circuit. As you were saying then, we thought this race might be a bit more of a race of attrition, and it is turned out to be. We're not even an hour into this one. Already 6 teams out of the race. Well, it was 6. You missed it because you weren't here. Lee Tech are back out. They're
good.
back out of the pits. They're on track, which is good to see. Of course, a number of laps down, sadly, for them. But now it means that for the moment, we've got Team FFS, Red River Sport 200, Red River Sport 257, Race Logic, and PLR Uvio at the moment out of the race. I mean, as we saw with Lee Tech, they could get back in if they can fix their issues. But like we say, it'll just be a test session. They're going to be many laps down. But here we go then for the restart, Andy. Let's get this one restarted.
Yes, so Tropical Rocket Racing are the leaders. Are they going to be the leaders when the pit lane window opens in 3 3/4 minutes, though? That's the question. Well, not if Farkini has anything to do about it. He is right behind them as we restart. Couldn't be a lot closer to the leading car as they head towards target corner for this, the 39th time of asking. And Tropical Rocket Racing are going to have some real defending to do over the next minute or two, I think. And I don't really fancy their chances. It's so difficult to lead the pack in the early stages. In fact, they've run wide anyway at the banking. And this is Farkini's opportunity. He's got the inside on the run towards Church Corner. And the 157 car, which now is being driven by Josh Phelps, is no longer the leader. Rob Boston Racing going with them into second. And Sheridais might yet take third as they head out onto the school straight. And how to go from hero to zero for Tropical Rocket Racing. Rob Boston Racing, though, are about to take the lead of the race. The 169 car of James Riley from third to first in half a lap.
Wow, yeah, they've done it already, up into the lead, then past Uvio, and now Sheridais trying to go around the outside as well. Can they keep the nose in into the right hand? They will. There might be a bit of contact. There is. Bit of leaning on each other there between Sheridais and Uvio as GCI now get past in the background as well. They're still side by side, and Sheridais are up the inside. GCI looking for it as well. Well, who would have thunk this? I would have assumed as soon as Tropical Rocket Racing moved over, Uvio would have cleared off by 10 seconds on this first lap, but no, they're slipping back into the pack.
But you don't want to be the leader up the school straight when they're all bunched together, do you? Because you just end up losing ground, you get knocked out of line, and that's it, you get freight trained, and Sheridais all over the curb of the final corner. That was close. But yeah, being the leader onto that back straight is not always advantageous, as Farkini just found out. I'm sure he already knew that. I don't think he intended to be the leader. It was the mistake, wasn't it, really, here for Tropical Rocket Racing, which handed him the lead. Now, though, he gets the opportunity to jump back into the slipstream. He's third behind Sheridais as they head towards Church. The Sheridais car now in the hands of Matt Hyde, remember, for a brief period of time in what's left of this second stint. And they're both going to get a run now on the Rob Boston Racing car. So this could be another pretty lively run through, Rocket.
Indeed, it could be. Yeah, so weird one to get your head around, isn't it? Yeah, I want the lead, but I don't want it yet.
Yes.
I want to wait until that corner, actually, to get the lead. As now, once again, Sheridais looking round the outside. They got it done on the last lap on Uvio. They're going to try it this time for the lead. And it will work. All the way round the outside, and up into the lead goes Sheridais. And just like last lap, another car tries to follow through. Sadly, for Uvio, they get a bit of the grass there on the inside. Scuppers their run on corner exit, and they have to slot back into third place. But GCI well and truly going with them. And now that Tropical Rocket Racing have settled into this stint a little bit more, they're right involved. And that top 5 continuing to press on ahead. I'll let you work out which numbers that is. They've just got themselves a stop-go penalty, but already 2 teams falling by the wayside of the rules anyway on this restart, and they'll be into the pit sooner than they would have hoped.
It's the FNS Morpheus number 109 car, and the 249 is the Demon Tweaks car, the red Demon Tweaks car of the Minshaws. That's a shame because they've been going well. They're both in now to serve those penalties, so that was nice and quick. Stop-go penalty again. It doesn't tell us on the timing screen why, so hopefully Jamie can figure that out for us, but both of them getting a stop-go penalty so soon after a safety car. Is that a yellow flag or a safety car infringement? Maybe. Anyway, they've served it immediately, and that's good news. They're out actually into some clean air, and that might not be a massive time loss for them, not as significant as it could have been. The leaders then make their way back towards Rocket. It is still Sheradies UK who lead the way, and the Rob Boston Racing car in second position. Then it's Farkini in the UVA Hoffman's Motorsport car third, GCI Racing fourth, Tropical Rocket Racing fifth, and a gap back now to Sunoco in sixth. Greenheath up to seventh. In fact, Greenheath up to sixth now, ahead of Sunoco, and GRD are in that group as well. So Simon Rudd might not be getting a full stint of green flag racing, but he's capitalising on the track time he is getting, and he's absolutely flying.
Indeed, and clearly the earlier part of the stint worked all right as well, didn't it? Because, what was it, 20th place, I think, when they came into a pitch initially? Now they're into 8th, and they are now, courtesy of that safety car period, right involved in this big group as well. There they go down the hill, as close enough behind as well are a few more of our teams. Clapham North then basically leading that following train as we head onto another lap of the race, and the pit window opens once again. So we wait and watch for teams start diving in, like the ones you mentioned earlier. The 212 there, Vlad Vasiliev, I think we can expect for him to be diving into the pits. Well, for the moment, he's diving up the inside of the 22 of Sunoco Racing. Nice move there down into turn 2. Clean overtake there from Vlad. That was good to see. But like we say, probably expecting him to come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yes, I would imagine so. They've seen the board now, haven't they? Simon Rudd there got ahead of Greenheath as well. So GRD are now 6th. And crucially, John, they're 6 seconds off the lead. They were 44 seconds off the lead before that first round of pit stops. This is a massive win for GRD in this safety car cycle that we've had in stint number 2, as it all gets very congested. That's track focused late on the brakes, nearly colliding with Sunoco, and see Data around the outside. I see Data on the lead lap. I think they are, yes, they're in 11th position, except I think they're now into the top 10 as a result of that move. So see Data also bouncing back nicely from their dramas earlier on.
Yeah, nicely done. I was a little bit worried for them on the restart, because it was Uvia who were behind them, and we all know what happened between those two in race number 1. So thankfully, no contact between them on that restart. Sorry, not Uvia, GRD, my apologies, hence why confusion coming there. Sorry guys, getting my teams mixed up again. GRD going with them, now getting through as we say, and now scampering off ahead are GRD. A lovely stint from them so far in this one, and courtesy of that bit of track time loss for Simon, I can imagine he'll push this one right until the end of the window. A few teams not doing that though. Axiometrics in, they're putting fuel on board as well. Same for Sunoco, as George Grant tried to get it stopped for the box there. The team having to run after him as the car goes a little bit further than would have expected, but out the car he goes, and Abby ready to jump in as well. That team also putting one churn on board. That seems to be the strategy for a few teams here on this second stop.
Yeah, it's a bit more straightforward in some ways here at Anglesey, because it's such a short pit lane. You don't lose as much track position for refuelling as you would elsewhere. So, yeah, put fuel in every other stop or so, and that seems to be the order of the day. Slightly slow stop this for Sunoco, I have to say. Anders Hildebrandt has handed back over to Phil Keane, but he came in ahead of the likes of Axiometrics and a couple of the other cars there, but went out behind them. So, bit of time lost in the pits. Back out goes Abby Eaton. Be worth keeping an eye on her, I think, in this next stint of the race. Leaders come back through. Anyone else diving for the pit lane? Not within the top 10 cars or so. And yeah, I think those at the front quite happy to maintain the track position advantage that they've got. New lap record set by Team GRD, and 18.298. I thought we'd see the lap record go in race number 2. Slightly better conditions for quick lap times with the ambient and track temperature dropping slightly, and that is now a new lap record set by Simon Rudd, and I'm sure his teammate Riley Phillips might have something to say about that when he gets in the car later on. He'll be in the slightly darker conditions, or slightly cooler conditions again later on, and would love to get that lap record away. So that lap record lasted a year, and it's now gone the way, temporarily at least, of Simon Rudd.
Well, now we don't need to worry about the faux fastest lap from Uvio from earlier when they pulled into pits, and we don't need to worry about that difference in opinion from the Fun Cup website, because it's totally different now, so they can update it with this brand new information that is definitely correct. GRD, what a lap from Simon. Clearly having the fire lit underneath him for this stint, as he missed so much of the time, having to make it up then, and my goodness is he doing just that, closing up now to the back of Tropical Rocket Racing. There's potential that he could get his team into the top 5. He's on the back of Tropical Rocket Racing, they're down the hill. I was going to say there's potential of him getting into the top 5 by the time he hands the car over. I think that's almost a definite now, looking at that gap.
Yeah, he's right with them, isn't he? So yeah, Simon Rudd is likely going to start overtaking some cars before too much longer. This is the fight for second place meanwhile, and I'm interested that Farkini hasn't got back ahead of Rob Boston Racing, has he? That James Riley driven 169 car, I think they're going to be a factor today. We know how quick Tom Roach is, we know how quick Will Blackwell Chambers is. He'll be getting in at this round of pit stops, but the fact that James Riley is now seemingly as quick as those two are, certainly quick enough to maintain track position at the front, Rob Boston Racing could be a threat, maybe. They were second, remember, anyway, in race number 1 earlier on today. If they can avoid any mechanical issues, it was a drive shaft, I seem to recall, wasn't it, that took them out earlier on. They could well be on for a good result, although they might now lose second place. No, because James Riley hangs the tail out through Rocket and rather dissuaded Farghini from forcing the issue round the outside and keeps the 403 car at bay.
For now.
For now.
Indeed. Well, drivers continue on absolutely nose to tail. GCI have been very impressive in this stint as well. Hot on the tail of these two just ahead. Sherrod have built up that ever so slight margin now, haven't they? As you say, 2 seconds between themselves and Rob Boston with Rare Vinyl as we press on to another lap of this race. I still just can't quite believe that the two teams that are on the back row of the grid now so high up, of course, benefiting from that safety car, but they'd done all the work before that safety car came out, hadn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They did. They gained a bit of time on the... No, they didn't. They were in the lead group anyway, weren't they? Yeah, no, it was just a really good first stint for them. Zuvio go a bit wide out of the banking.
Sometimes you see that from a team, but the fact you've seen it from both of them following each other through the order was amazing. Well, here we go then. The 2-1-2 is in. Time to release Ted Bradbury onto the black stuff. Let's see how he does. I can see Wendy Ellis-Smith getting prepared to jump in as well. It was nice to hear from her, courtesy of Jamie earlier on as she jumps in for another stint now. As here, Rob Boston car, UVO car and GCI continuing on line astern. Interested to see when these three decide to pit as well, because there's a decision of course, you want to leave it as late in the window as possible to maximise the potential for the safety car. But equally, you don't want all three of you pitting at the same time. You sort of want to go on an opposing lap, an opposing strategy to the team around you, and hope that you can do a bit of a better in or out lap to make it work.
Yes, that's a fairly good point. Let's see whether any of them are listening to you. Well, no, because they're all going out for another lap, so it looks increasingly likely they're all going to end up pitting at roughly the same time. This battle for second is really costing them time to Sherrod, isn't it? Sherrod getting away now to the tune of nearly 3 seconds over Rob Boston Racing, UVO Hoffman's Motorsport and GCI Racing, who are debating second. How much quicker is Simon Rudd than the cars ahead? Quite a bit, half a second quicker than the second place battle last time was Simon, and so he is starting now to reel them in. There he is in the background, the white and blue GRD machine, which is only, I'd say, within a second now maybe of the cars ahead, and might even be picking up just a whiff of a slipstream. 3 cars punching a hole in the air ahead of him will give you an advantage from quite a distance back, and so Simon Rudd could even improve upon that lap record pace this time. Tropical Rocket Racing, by the way, have been in, so Tropical Rocket from what was 6th place by that point, because they'd been overtaken by Simon Rudd in the GRD car. They have pitted, and in also, or out in fact, is going the 207 Demon Tweaks car, so more cars coming in from further down the order, but we're still waiting for, as usual, leading contenders to pit. Tropical Rocket Racing car won't fire back up. It has now, but it's quite slowly going down the pit lane. It does now get going, but they've lost a lot of time there. They've dropped behind Team Viking, who were they on the lead lap. Team Viking, yes, I think they were.
Yeah, they're in 9th.
Yeah, so they've dropped a long way down. That's out of the top 10 then, net top 10 for Tropical Rocket Racing.
Indeed, indeed. What a shame. Well, we press on then, continuing on, and already almost at the end of this this second window of the race then. And still, interestingly enough, despite the slipstream being used between these drivers, Sherrod is continuing to open up the gap on pure pace alone, as well, impressively so. Well, yes, indeed, Viking dropping them behind as UVO dive up the inside as well. GCI looking for it. That would be bold to also go up the inside, GCI. Oh my goodness, there was nearly contact there. They were on a collision course that I thought was inevitable, but my goodness, GCI, good job in getting that car stopped, and they do continue to press on. I think it just shows as well with the Team Viking and Ursus Capital car, that was a consistent front-running car when they left to go and race in Europe. They've come back And just look at how much the Fun Cup UK has changed in only those couple of years that they've been away. Taking back to it, not so simple for the guys at Team Viking Nurses Capital. Really nice blokes, but they just haven't quite found their footing since coming back for this year, sadly for them.
No, but glimpses of what we've seen before. They were championship contenders back in, I seem to recall, 2020. Admittedly slightly shortened season, but they were, I think, third in the championship that year, if memory serves. So yeah, they were quick. That was just before they started doing a bit more European Fun Cup racing. And yeah, great to have them back, and I'm sure they will get quicker as the year goes on. Things have moved on since then, as we've made the point a few times. It's not easy now to run at the front, but they are battling for position here then with Tropical Rocket Racing, because Tropical Rocket have had a slow stop for whatever reason. The car stalled, but I think there was a delay perhaps even before then. So pit window is closed, side by side here. Farkini to the outside of James Riley, but again, that's not going to happen, is it? Simon Rudd has now caught them. This is second, third, fourth and fifth then, nose to tail, and they're all going to be in possibly next time by. I don't think they've seen the pit lane window close board yet. You're allowed to go past that once at the end of the window, so the pit window can actually extend by a couple of minutes from the 10 minutes itself. So we will see whether they dive in. I don't think they are this time, are they? No, they're all going to go around for another lap. So next time by, we're going to have about the top, well, who's the first pitter? Axiometrics possibly down in 10th position. I think they've been in, haven't they? So we're going to have the top 9 cars potentially all bailing for the pit lane at the same time.
Yeah, amazing. When do we ever see this?
Yeah.
That's very rare that we have all of the top 5 within 5 seconds of each other all diving into the pits at the same time. Well, this is really going to be a case of, well, we mentioned it earlier, the fact of previously a minimum pit stop time was brought in. Well, if it was still in, we wouldn't have the excitement of this, would be? There's potential for the drivers at the back, likes of GID in 5th place here, to jump all the way to the front of the train if they can get a speedy stop out of this. But look, they're still battling on the in-lap. Uvio to the outside line, late on the brakes. Is it too late on the brakes? No, they do get it stopped. Fantastic move from Uvio past the Rob Boston Racing car. GRD tried to do something similar. Didn't quite work though. GCI stay ahead.
Yeah, so okay, pit lane about to become a busy place, but the move made on track for second position, and we know Uvio Hoffman's Motorsport are normally pretty handy in the pit lane, so expect a quick service here from the team. In first, of course, will come Sherrodize UK. What a great stint this has been from Matt Hyde. He will come in with maybe a 3.5 second lead, so Sherrodize need a really good pit stop, and then second, third, fourth, fifth all follow them in. Tropical Rocket Racing go back around onto another lap because they've already stopped. Right, who's taking fuel? Who's doing what? There's fuel for Uvio, there's fuel for Rob Boston, there's no fuel for GRD, interestingly. Simon Rudd gets out, Chris Devell gets in, but this should be a quick stop for the reigning champions. Out goes Sherrodize, I think that must have been a dry stop as well, and second position is going to be GRD because they didn't take fuel. GCI, I think, are probably the first car that did. We'll get Jamie to verify this maybe. There was definitely fuel that went into the Uvio car. They'll come out next, and Rob Boston Racing are going to drop some way down here to 5th position, 6th position because Ted Bradbury goes past them in the Vape Club car. So a few big changes there in the order inside the top half dozen, all because of fuel strategy.
Exactly like I said, there could be a big switch around because of strategies there, and of course how slick each of the teams gets the pit stops done. Well, that just being shown then for sure. Big switch around at the sharp end, and GRD into second place. Amazing.
Jamie Peters-Ennis is earning his money today. He's already told me who took fuel. So 403 Uvio took fuel. Rob Boston Racing took fuel, none of the others did. So GRD, GCI, and 251, which is Sherrodize, the race leaders, did not take fuel. So that's interesting. There is a bit of divergence then in the fuel strategy, but only 2 of those leading 5 cars took fuel. What did Vape Club do? I don't know if we saw that pit stop, but they've had Ted Bradbury in the car. Did they take fuel last time, or is this just the Bradbury effect, I wonder? We'll try and find out if we can.
Indeed. Let's have a little look then. I just want to have a look down the times from the laps where they pitted. It was a 1 minute 50 for Vape Club. Already I'm erring on the side of there was some fuel put on board. Let's have a look there. Oh, actually, I'm not so sure. I don't know. So it was a 1 minute 50 on the lap where they stopped for Vape Club. It was a 1 minute 51 for UVO Hoffmans, and we know they took fuel.
Okay.
So there's potential that Vape Club did take some fuel on board there. Let's have a look at the likes of Sheridai's on that pit stop. A 1 minute 43, so only still 7 or 8 seconds quicker than the Vape Club stop. But given that they were quicker, we know how quick the Vape Club guys are with the stops, would lead me to believe that there was a bit of fuel put on board for the Vape Club car. We will send Mr. Peter Zennis down, though, to make sure we are 100% correct with that information, as he's got to be speeding around because it's only, 15 minutes until we do it all again back in the pits.
He really does have to earn his money today, doesn't he, Jamie? I've already sent his instructions, so I'm going to see if he can give us a definitive answer on that. So, hour and 45 minutes to go. Sheridai's UK lead by 7 seconds, but they did not take fuel at the previous stop, nor did Team GRD, who have now got Chris Devell back in the car in third, and nor did GCI Racing with Ian Wood back into the 111 car in third position. GRD second, I think I said third just then. UVO Hoffmans Motorsport in fourth then, the highest placed car that we know took fuel at that second stop of the race. So UVO just under 12 seconds off the lead. That gives you an idea of the sort of time lost, but they were 3 or more seconds back anyway, weren't they? So it's only about a 7 or 8 second maybe deficit there for them, and they've got the Vape Club Morpheus Motorsport car of Ted Bradbury only about 4 seconds behind them. Fuel was taken by 212, says Jamie, so that is a genuine gain. It is the Bradbury effect. It's hard to tell sometimes, isn't it? So Ted Bradbury has well and truly brought that Vape Club car into contention. He's only been in the car for about 15 minutes.
Mightily impressive already. Up into the top 5 they go then, and looking to chase on down those teams ahead. Who have we got there? Greenheath, stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And the 249 Demon Tweaks car, stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So 2 more of those coming through, and the day goes worse for Greenheath. What a shame. They had their issues in race number 1, and sadly more coming a cropper here in race number 2. Greenheath will be in for that stop-go, and as we said, another one then coming in for the 249 Demon Tweaks. They already had that stop-go from earlier on in the race, but this time speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear, 2 races from 2 then for Greenheath where they got speeding in the pit lane. A shame, especially given the fact they've been doing so well in this race. They're in 7th place.
This is for 2nd place, meanwhile. Team GRD with GCI Racing immediately behind. Ian Wood about to put some pressure onto Chris Devell. So Ian Wood in the GCI car, these two both on the same strategy, we believe. And so the GCI machine looking quick at this stage, and they're in the wheel tracks now of the 2nd place car heading out onto the school straight. I suspect we're going to see a challenge here from Ian Wood. He's in the tow, he's closing up the hill, and is Chris Devell going to give him the inside line? Yes, he is, in fairness, so not too much of an argument put up by Chris Devell, and Ian Wood is going to slip through. They both go very wide. I think Chris was really just giving Ian Wood a little bit of extra space there, and so the GCI car then moves through into 2nd position. So GCI ahead, they are 7 seconds behind Sheridai's UK, with GRD down to 3rd and UVO Hoffmans Motorsport they're in 4th position. Right, Simon Rudd has been at the wheel of the Team GRD car, and he is catching up now with Jamie Peters-Ennis in the pit lane.
Thanks, Andy. I'm with Simon now. It's been a challenging day for you, to say the least. Car feeling all right?
It's like a different car in this race. In the first race, Chris took avoiding action of someone else's accident and then just ripped the front of the car off. So it was so difficult to drive. Like, we lost about 6/10 through like 1 corner. So yeah, we did the best we could with that, and then there was a mistake on my part when I went into the back of Mike, like completely unintentional, and then that cost us a lot. So yeah, I'm determined to sort of make up for it in this race.
And that's what you're doing. With last check, you were P2. You didn't take fuel in that last pit stop. Are you sort of fuel-wise sort of trying to sort of run a bit out of sync with everybody else?
Do whatever Chris tells us to do. Look, I think for us, we just, we know what we think works around here, works for our strategy. We'll take some fuel later on, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going all right. I think if we can keep Chris up there, and then maybe a little safety car towards the end might help us out. You never know.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. That's the box.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. So Simon Rudd not brimming with confidence, is he? He was sort of hoping for a safety car later on to maybe put them back into contention, but I don't know, I wouldn't count them out just yet. Christopher though does have a fight on his hands here. He's got Fabulous Randaccio and Ted Bradbury queuing up behind him. Ian Wood has already gone past him, as we've seen, and now Randaccio launches to the inside. That's third place, that's fourth place for Bradbury as well, so 2 more places lost for Christopher. But Ted Bradbury versus everyone else is going to be interesting. That's going to be the story of this middle stint of the race, I think, this third stint of the race. Ted Bradbury looking to try and gain a bit more ground. He's in behind Randaccio now as they head up the back straight, and I think Bradbury's going to have a go here for what is now third position. Is he going to go through into Rocket? He's shown the outside line. He's desperately late on the brakes. Is Bradbury gets his nose ahead. That's the inside for the right-hander, and Ted Bradbury is just about into a podium place. Yes, gets the move made on corner exit, and through he will go. So Ted Bradbury, ever since he jumped into that car, has been rapid. We've had a driver change in the commentary box as well. John Ratcliffe has gone to soak up the last rays of evening sunshine, and Richard John Neal, I'm delighted to say, has joined me for the remainder of the race. Richard, you've been watching in the background, captivated as we have been by what's been a brilliant race so far.
I love it, and do you know what? I think it's the first time I've actually got to watch a Fun Cup race in the box and watch you guys. Super job by you guys. Really, really enjoying it and getting roped into it, and you know, it's just like commentating on it, isn't it? It's just so good to watch. And yeah, we don't know how it's going to go, as usual.
Yeah, exactly. It's why we love the Fun Cup, isn't it? And they do tend to keep us guessing these races to the end. But one thing you can always be certain of is that if Ted Bradbury is in that Vape Club car, in fact, if Ted Bradbury's in any car, he will be moving forward, except he didn't get the move made there against Ian Wood in the GCI car. And he's now opened the door for Fabulous Randaccio to get back alongside. Randaccio might have a go at getting past both of them here. It's a brilliant battle. It's all over second position at this stage. And it's going to be last of the late breakers into Rocket. It's Bradbury, of course, who's latest on the brakes, and goes from defence to attack, and Fabulous almost into the side of Ian Wood. Had all 4 wheels off the track there.
He just got that stopped in time, Dean. That was very, very well judged by my book.
Yeah,
I mean, some people would say lucky, but you know, with his skill, that was judged. Super racing between the bands. Still can't do it. Wow. Superb stuff.
Well, GCI then are clinging on, and Randaccio has another go now into the corkscrew, but Ted Bradbury carved through that group with relative ease. I mean, it looked like he was about to lose a place. All of a sudden, he's got to the front of the queue.
The interesting thing for Ted as well, I mean, you, like me, know him from when he was in Mazda MX-5 racing, and the way he has matured and his demeanour has got more calm. Not that he was ever nervous, but he's got this assuredness now with himself in the car, which just adds to his technique and his skill that we see on track. And he's just putting that into action now, isn't he? And getting away, 8-second gap to try and make up, but that could very well disappear by the time we get into the next lot of stops. What have we got? 137 left, so 7 minutes to the next set of stops. As again, we've got Fabulous having a look. He's got the inside run this time, and we'll get the move completed. We're going to go for the switchback. He runs a little bit wide, loses out.
Yeah, he's been struggling to stop it up there. In fact, a lot of drivers have been struggling to stop into Rocket in this second race. And I think that's ironically because the wind has died down. It's not anything like as blustery as it was this afternoon. Yeah. It was a headwind into Rocket, so that slows the car down more quickly. Now that that's gone, I think they're all struggling to get the car stopped up at the top of the track. He's not the first driver we've seen overshooting there, and it's not the first time we've seen the Uvio car going straight on. So a slight change in conditions, I think, to blame.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you know what I did for the first time today? I did an Anglesey track walk. I had never done one before. And that was probably, up into Rocket, is the most surprising. Have you walked it before?
Years ago, yes.
And you can't see the corner, can you?
Yeah.
So you've got to learn it. It's muscle memory going up there and knowing where you've got to turn in. The drivers will be good at that. They'll obviously be practicing on sims, I guess, most of them, and doing so. Still side by side here, though.
Oh, he just can't get past Ian Wood, can he? Uvio versus GCI is a battle that's been raging on for decades in Fun Cup, and it's great to have GCI back full-time in the championship this year. They were second in the championship, remember, coming into the weekend behind GRD, so they're after a nice solid points haul. Fabulous Randaccio goes through, but Ian Wood wants the place back. He's on the outside into Rocket. Who's going to outbreak themselves this time, I wonder? The answer in the end is neither of them. They both made the corner, and this time the UVO car will defend the position. Chris Devell is in behind them, and then it's the Rob Boston Racing car, 169, which is starting to come back into this. Will Blackwell Chambers, former Mark 1 Mazda MX-5 champion, he's going to be joining this battle pretty soon.
He will. Chris Devell's doing a good job, and he asked me this morning to say that he said, "You always say that I'm the slowest driver." So no, not always.
No, we try and
he holds his own. But the other thing was, I was doing a bit of an Andy McEwen and looking at some stats.
Don't want to do that.
Oh well, you say that, but stats and looking at, because the times that I've done this, I've always thought it's more difficult for a 3-driver team to win. So I've had a look back. Sort of, I can only get as far back as pretty much the start of this decade, so not that far. I know you've got the whole lot, but you might not have the stats about how many three-driver teams have won against 2-driver teams. Now, of late, it seems quite even, but Chris Devell said to me it's probably because of us that the 3-driver, and I hadn't even thought of that, but he's probably right. They mess the stats up and make it look like 3-driver teams might actually be more. And Andy's gone straight into the data. Have you got that?
Hold the line, Cor. No, I haven't, but I can tell you how many races they've won in the last couple of years. And as you can see, it's quite a lot, isn't it? In the last 2 full seasons, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of about 15 races or so. So, yeah, it's a fair point, isn't it? They have done an awful lot of winning of late.
Yeah. But, so I guess that was something you probably looked. But anyway, I thought I'd have a gander and try and think about it. But he kind of killed my theory, because when I've worked with you before on this, I thought, three drivers is more difficult to do, because you're going to have different levels. You've got to at different tracks. It might change at different circuits. But he said basically what he was saying is they're probably the best three driver lineup, or the GRD, in history as well, because they had plenty of other wins before, like Simon Rudd came in as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to think actually of who the last 3-driver team to win regularly would have been, and it possibly would have been Race Logic, but 7 or 8 years ago when they were on their winning streak, they did have 3 drivers. One of them was Nigel Greensall, Julian Thomas, and who was their 3rd driver? David Denyer was for a while, but when they were winning championships, it was someone else. But that's a long time ago. So so it's a fair point well made, as G-Force bounced down the grass coming out of the final corner.
Sheridan's gap now 3.725 seconds over Vape Club in second place. So really starting to close in. Vape Club now with the fastest lap, 1 minute 18.018 on the last lap. That's another lap record, isn't it?
Any fastest lap is now a lap
be
record.
A new. So Ted Bradbury.
By 3/10. I don't know why I'm surprised. And the effect it's having is he's now only 2 seconds off the leader, and that was 8 seconds, I think, when he got into.
It was last time we checked that up. Yeah.
Wow. So he's going to take the lead shortly, I think, isn't he? Where is the leader on track? Somewhere towards Church, yes, coming out of the banking. Yes, he is, and he's almost with Sheridan now, as here, that is Will Blackwell Chambers nipping up the inside of Chris Devell and taking over 5th position. So the 169 Rob Boston Racing with Rare Vinyl car back into the top 5, and Chris Devell out of the top 5, but Richard, all the GRD team are interested in, they're not really interested in their position, it's how far off the lead they are. 12 seconds, that's doable, isn't it? We've seen that sort of gap eradicated over a single stint before, so Chris is doing his job, isn't he?
He's doing a fantastic job. And do you know the thing that surprised me, and again, a lot of the time it's because I've not done enough Fun Cup to get my head round it, was thinking about when Simon Rudd was in the car. He did have a little bit of a run, he did get the fastest lap in the new lap record back then, but I was thinking, actually, he didn't get a lot of running because of that safety car.
Yeah.
So they could have done better. But then again, the safety car did close things up for him. So
yes. I think they gained about 35 seconds through the safety car. So on balance, Simon's good. I'm not convinced he'd have taken 35 seconds out of the leader. So
he'll take that.
I think he'll take that.
Get to you about that.
Definitely. Another new lap record. He's doing it for fun now. Ted Bradbury, 18.0. He's 4/10 now off the race leader. So the lead change is imminent. Here they are heading into the banking. So Ted Bradbury is on an absolute tear. Remember, this car didn't race at Snetterton last time. Bradbury raced at the time, the PLR car, the 403. And he's back now with Vlad, this very potent pairing. Could they be the next sort of two-driver team to start really winning with some regularity? Bradbury wants the lead. He's got the pace to get the lead, but I'll tell you what, Peter Belshaw's not giving it to him without a fight.
He isn't, so Bradbury here working hard. It's going to be the outside as they come up into the Rocket Complex, already clear and got the move done. But is he going to outbreak himself? No, Ted knows what he's doing. He's going to hang on to it inside as they go into the second part of Rocket, the hairpin. Doesn't look like a hairpin on the cameras, but again, if you get the opportunity here to do a track walk as I did this morning, you get a much better understanding of the layout of the track. I don't know why it's taken me so long to do that, but Ted Bradbury goes through. And I was just thinking, Ted, as you said, driving in a different car in the previous round, you know, who'd have thought that top drivers would do that? I know you've had the discussions about that today, so I won't go into that anymore. But
it's interesting, though, isn't it? Because regardless, really, of the fate of the Vape Club car this season, he could still win the championship, courtesy of the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport squad. If they win the championship, he will be a champion because he drove that car for one race. You or I could do a race in the championship in 4:03. We wouldn't help their chances of winning the championship, but
you probably would.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, you're considerably younger, and I think have much better technical understandings of the cars than I do.
I'm not so sure. Well, I'll tell you what, let's stick
me
me in a car and
you, me
find
and
out.
Taylor, free car team next year. My son wants to do the taste today.
Yeah, good idea.
But I said, hold your horses, you know, go and see ones first and then work towards it.
Yeah, they're tricky cars to get hold of, I believe, the Fun Cup cars. And, a little bit of track experience beforehand can help. But then we've had drivers, in fact, look at the 248 car, Toby Hall. This is only his second ever motor race. His first one was this afternoon in Fun Cup. He's chosen to debut. Yeah, never raced anything before. And came straight into Fun Cup. So, straight in at the deep end, but sometimes you learn more that way.
Do you know what? It's really nice to hear, isn't it? Because we talk about the very experienced drivers, you know, your Johnny Molems and your Phil Keens, but great that people are still seeing this as a way in to racing. And, you know, to be fair, you wouldn't look at this and think, do you know what, I'm going to make my debut in it, but it's great that they do a fantastic advert for what Christian and the team are doing.
Updates from Jamie. Thank you, Jamie, for feeding the information through to us. A stop-go penalty for Greenheath. I missed that, I'll confess, for speeding in the pits. That's their second speeding penalty of the day. Remember, Gary Bate picked one up for them in that pit stop that never needed to happen in race number 1. Promise that's the last time I'll mention that, Gary. 214 also pitted with a left rear puncture. That is C data, so their slight data forget continues on. And Jamie, with a much better memory than me, I've got the stats, but memorising it is a challenge. Reminds me that the dominant Race Logic trio were Nigel Greensaw, Julian Thomas and John Tomlinson, who no longer races in Fun Cup, unfortunately. But yes, that was the last sort of dominant 3 driver. But we're talking, that was back in 2014-ish, maybe, so over a decade ago since we had a sort of dominant 3-driver lineup that wasn't GRD.
Wow. Pit stop window, of course, is now open for our third set of stops. And first in, the car that started 9th on the grid. Now, I've lost track of... good, John left his driver thing, so that's really handy for me, isn't it? 557, going into the 4th stint now, aren't we?
Correct.
Steve Ruston.
Yes, correct. Yes, they fly by these races, don't they? Yes, we're halfway through. An hour and a half gone. So Steve Ruston will indeed get in. We're in an interesting fuel dynamic with those leading cars as well. I don't know how much of this you were following earlier on, but the leading cars at the end of, or the beginning of this stint, so the GRD, GCI and the 251 Sherrodice car did not fuel last time. Again, the number 157 car is struggling to get going. Tropical Rocket Racing, I don't know how I forgot their name, are really needing a push this time.
It's like a Jeff Bezos rocket, that one, isn't it? Or maybe not.
Struggling to get off the ground, rather, yes. Hopefully they get it going, but this is slightly concerning. They didn't have to push it this far last time.
Is it going to go?
It's not, is it?
Pop, 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 pop. Oh. Come on, lads. Great looking livery on that car as well.
And we're getting plenty of time to admire it at low speed, but I'd rather see it going at full race speed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's stuck, and it's stuck right next to the GRD base. Simon Rudd was looking over at that car, thinking, well, go on, move it out of our way.
The question is, what do they do next? Do they push it around and back around the back of the garages and try again? Or that's the
Yeah, there is an exit down there, isn't there? But
Yeah.
they can't push it beyond the pit exit line, clearly. And yes,
Yeah,
there we
yeah,
go,
he's pointing.
directing it behind the garages. But
Do you like
what
a
a
Malibu?
shame. I'm partial to a
Yeah,
Malibu.
but-
Yes. It's my holiday drink of choice.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Very sort of Caribbean vibes, isn't it? It's my kind of place. And it feels much the same today here at Anglesey. Right, GRD are in, moving on. And this is going to be Chris Devell. His driving done now, of course, handing back over to Simon Rudd. And they're taking fuel, as we expected. Fuel going into the one car and a double churn. So this will get them to the end of the race. I don't think GRD will need any more fuel between now and the checkered flag. So GRD are in. And they're still refueling. There they are, look. And they can't touch the car whilst the fuel is going in, and they're itching to get the door open, but they can't open it until now the fuel is gone. And in will get, it should be, oh no, it's Riley, isn't it? Sorry, Riley Phillips getting in now. Simon Rudd was helmeted up, oddly, to assist with the driver change, but it wasn't actually getting into the car. I don't know why he'd have his helmet on to assist with that, but anyway, waves Riley Phillips back on his way.
Was chatting to Matt Hyde's mum earlier on with Simon Rudd, and she was saying it was a weird scenario. She said, I'm old enough to be your mum and you're old enough to be Matt's dad. And
Right.
Simon was going, yeah, thanks for that. So it was like this 3-generational, totally useless conversation. But yeah, it'd be interesting that she suddenly had this perspective, you know, of
Simon appreciated
both
that.
Simon and Matthew have commentated on us on VRRC.
Oh, have they?
Yes, they have. We've had them
they?
as guests on that sort of virtual Seto course of virtual racing, which you have done a lot of.
Yes, I miss those days, you know, but I
You'll be
never have a
welcome.
free evening these days.
Right,
That's
okay.
my problem. I'm busy, working too hard. But yes, these stats spreadsheets, they don't build themselves, you know, Richard.
It's a
That's,
lot of work, isn't it? Do you sit down in the winter and update all the?
as best I can, yes, as best I can. But it's there's always something else to research, isn't there? And I'm easily distracted. Pit stop's ongoing, and that's 207 Demon Tweaks in from 10th position at the time. But as usual, most of our front-running cars waiting before they pit. Ted Bradbury, by the way, 5.5 seconds clear. I mean, it's remarkable. He was 8 seconds behind the leader at the start of the stint, and by the time he brings the car in, he could be 10 seconds or more ahead.
And
This
he's
has been
doing a double
brilliant
at the end,
stint.
isn't he?
Doubling at the end,
Yeah.
yes, correct. So, yeah, Vlad will get back in now, or at the end of this stint. And then Ted takes it to the end. And of course, had they not had so many back markers between themselves and the leaders in race 1 when we had the late safety car, that strategy could have yielded a win for Vape Club. But they've got better track position at this stage in race 2. It's looking good for them.
The other thing that Simon and Chris Devell were saying is how much money they have saved the Rhodes family
Really?
in terms of keeping newcomers out of positions. So they'll probably be sticking the hand out, I think, at some point. But that's an interesting take, isn't it?
That's a good point, actually. They have been the team that have thwarted a few of the new teams, haven't they? But then there are teams up and down the pit lane who will say they've been thwarted by GRD recently. This is the UVA Hoppens Motorsport car, back in the hands, for now at least, of Fabulous Randaccio. And they've just claimed second place at the expense of Peter Belshaw's Sheridai's car. So Sheridai's UK fall down to third. But they're having another solid run here are the Sheridai squad. And the UVA Hoppens Motorsport car, which won race 1, remember, is back into second place.
Very good move. Are we going to get, in the closing stages, a UVO GRD and possibly Vape Club?
I hope so.
3 runs up to 5 to 10. That would be good. Did we start at 5 to 7?
I think so.
Pretty much on time.
Yes, looks like it.
BRSCC have done
maybe.
a good job with the various sort of delays that we've had over everything else over the course of the year. And great that it's so light, fantastic view. Again, I bumped into a lot of people today around the paddock. First visit, absolutely love it.
Right.
Absolutely love Anglesey.
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a good venue. When the weather's like this, especially, and this particular event, which I've always really enjoyed being a part of, it's there's something special when the sun starts to set and the lights are on the cars in that final stint. It's quite unique in British motor racing to race into the semi-darkness, really, as it is at this time of year. And we are, to be fair, we've been quite lucky with weather over the years. They deliberately put it in the summer months, but hey, that means nothing, does it, in this part of the world?
Indeed.
But yeah, generally speaking, we've dodged the worst of the rain at this event over the years, and it's a really special weekend. I'm very happy to be here again this season, and being treated to a great show as always by the Fun Cup.
What are we doing tomorrow in terms of circuit? Is everything on the international again tomorrow?
Yes, I believe so.
So
yeah.
just the coastal. And that's not an easy thing for a club to organise, 2 circuits these days.
No, absolutely.
Lots of extra paperwork.
It doesn't happen often for that
No,
reason, really,
no.
I suspect. There are circuits that can do it. Snetterton, Silverstone jump to mind immediately, but in fact, almost every circuit has alternate layouts, doesn't it? I think I remember an event... Oh, we'll get back to that, because Sherrodise have just clouted the side of the G-Force car coming through the corkscrew. Did that do any damage to Peter Belshaw's car? I think he got away with that. Yeah, the front splitter looks like it's intact. Yeah, no big deal, but that could have been costly. We've seen already how much time you lose when you start shedding bits of front bodywork on these cars, but he dodged a bit of a bullet there.
The corkscrew is one of those places that looks different when you actually walk it
Yes.
to seeing it on screen. It looks a lot smoother on screen. So too does the hairpin when you let that dip down into, if you remember it from your
Yes.
walk. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's there's the elevation change you don't realise here. I forget now what the number was, but it's something like an 8-storey drop from the exit appeal to the bottom of the corkscrew. It sounds ridiculous when you say it like that, but when you...
That's huge.
Yeah, a lot, and in quite a short space of time.
That's why I was puffed out going up to radar.
Yes, exactly. But that's why the Fun Cup, every year they say, no, we only want to race on the coastal. We know the other track's bigger. It's the preferred track for most championships these days, but it's that corner alone that means they prefer racing on the coastal. I'm with them. It's a great corner.
Pit window closed. Sunoco Racing into their stop. The 22 car for stint 4 will be Anders Hildebrand. I remember meeting Anders years and years and years ago. I was talking to Peter Scherer earlier on about a Eurocar meeting on the Donington Loop, and I'm pretty sure Anders came along to one of those with his son Axel, who I don't recall seeing for quite a long time, but lovely that Anders is still out and about and racing well. As we pick up on the Race Logic 210 car.
Leader has just pitted, by the way, as have Sherrodise. Now, I can't see from my vantage point the Vape Club pit stops. They're directly underneath the commentary box, but I've already asked for a Jamie update, and he said he'll give me one. He hasn't given me the update yet, but he said he will give me an update on what they did. We can see there's very clearly fuel going into the Sherrodise car, which has its next driver plugged in. That should be Matt Hyde getting back in now, I presume. And Jamie tells us that 251 double fueled. So Sherrodise, that was a double fuel stop for them. If you fill the tank now, I was reliably informed this morning, you can get to the end without fueling again. An hour and a half-ish is the maximum fuel window, if you like, or distance that you can run on a full tank. So
and that's one of the choices, isn't it? When you fuel, I mean, obviously you've got to do the stops. You don't have to change the driver, so that's a choice as well.
Yeah.
But I'll need to look at some of those things we were talking about earlier on with safety cars and whether they need to be longer and all that. It is tomorrow for Superstore Endurance.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. Right. Well, we'll research that tonight, shall we? The various pit stop regulations. UV, I think I just saw coming in. They must be stopping underneath our commentary position as well. Don't know whether we've got the pit lane camera on that car. Yes, we have. There is double fuel going in. So I think that's going to be the order of the day, isn't it, for this third round of pit stops, with full fuel to the end of the race. Rob Boston Racing are in as well, because the pit window has now closed. So everyone has to dive in this time. And we'll find out in a few moments what the order is as we head into the second half of the race.
Yeah, 1:17 on the clock, so very much into the last knockings of it here. And still a full day of action for you tomorrow. Kicks off quite early as well, doesn't it? I think we're 9:45, something like that.
Yes, I think you're right, yeah. In fact, I can tell you. I have the timetable open somewhere. 9:30, in fact.
9:30, even earlier.
Racing. Yeah, so there's there's one qualifying session, but it's in the middle of the morning's races. So, early start. No lie-in for us tomorrow.
It's the juniors, isn't it, that have the trouble getting out of bed normally, the teenagers. That's the problem.
I don't know. I'm not a junior anymore, and I can tell you it's still a struggle for me. Especially when I've been up till 10 o'clock at night getting all excited about Fun Cup.
And Le Mans.
And Le Mans, yes, which I've had a cursory eye on.
World Cup, you're not a football fan, are you? Not
No, it's not my thing, really. Has that started yet, the World Cup?
Yeah, it has. America won. USA won today.
Oh, did they?
I see you're super impressed about it.
I confess, I don't think I realised they had an international team. I know they're hosting the thing, but...
I do like a bit of football. World Cup, not really bothered.
No.
Not really bothered. Give me the choice, I'd rather be here.
Well, that's
I would-
that's I can agree.
yeah.
On, definitely. It's a lot more civilised, this, isn't it?
I think the
than,
Jocks are playing tonight, aren't they, as well?
Okay, right.
Isn't that why Greg's not here? Greg Graham. Has he gone? Has he gone?
Oh, really?
I think so. Falkirk fan.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yes, I knew that. Yeah.
Back to reality.
Back to proper sport, and the UVO Hoffman's motorsport car heads through target corner. The lead still held by Vape Club Morpheus Motorsport. It is now Vlad Vasiliev back in the car, and they're up at Rocket Corner now. Second position is the Rob Boston Racing with Rare Vinyl machine. That was only a 5-second gap. We'll wait till the end of this lap to give you a full rundown, because the timing screen may still be catching up with itself, I think, after that third round of pit stops. We've got an hour and a quarter to go. And as is always the case, we have a round of pit stops, and now the dynamic shifts again. The cars that were quick in the previous stint might no longer be the quicker cars, and vice versa. Things can really change around from one stint to the next in Fun Cup. It's why you've got to keep close eye on what's going on. There is the leader, Vlad Vasiliev, back in car 212, and yes, it is the 169 Rob Boston Racing car in second position. That is now back in the hands of Tom Roach for the second and final time this evening, and it's a 4.5 second lead that Vlad Vasiliev has, so that came down by a second on the previous lap alone. Third position hasn't yet got to the line, so whoever is in third, they're a long way back. It's UVO, so UVO Hoffman's Motorsport third, narrowly ahead of Sherrodies and GCI. They're coming across the line now, but they are 29 seconds back. So why? Oh, well, get back to that in a moment, because Team Viking and Ursus Capital have stopped. Where is this on the track? I think it's up towards the exit of Rocket. Yes, it is. So the 170 car has stopped. Yellow flags at the top of the circuit, and I fear we know what this might mean for the race. A safety car may well be headed our way, and that will actually make these gaps fairly not that significant, fairly insignificant, there we go, that's the word. But I'm questioning why. Yes, because UVO, Sherrodies and GCI double fueled, so I'm guessing Vape Club and Rob Boston didn't, and are going to need fuel later on. So if we do get a safety car, that's not good news for the top two teams.
That will not be, no, indeed. That could put the issues for them. Are we likely to get one here? I think we probably will.
I think so, yeah. I don't see the Viking car getting away under its own steam. We had a safety car in race one for a car stopped in a very similar position, so I suspect that's going to happen. I can see the brake lights on the safety car, which means that it's fired back up. Yes, driver is out of the 170 car, so that's Mark Home going no further. And that car, lights are on the safety car, so we're going to get our second safety car period of the race. We had the first one about 45 minutes into the race. We're an hour and 45 minutes in now, and safety car number 2 is almost upon us. It hasn't been sprung yet. They're going to wait and try and time it for when the leader comes through. The leader just saw going up towards Rocket Corner, but the lights are on the safety car, and they don't do that unless they intend to dispatch it onto the circuit.
This will close everything up once again, and the significant one there, of course, is the gap back from second to third, isn't it? So with 28, 4 seconds to 28, 24 second gap between RBR RV or Rob Boston Rare Vinyl. And that was a record shot, wasn't it? Someone cleared up for me before.
Oh, I actually don't know. I'm not sure.
I think someone said it.
I had that conversation.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Well, there's the safety car. So, second safety car period of the race, and the reason that this is bad news for Vape Club and for Rob Boston is that they potentially have a longer pit stop to come later on. We don't think they can get necessarily to the end of the race without refueling again, unless they've been topping up the fuel on earlier stops. That is possible, rather than just dumping it all in one go, just sort of every stop adding a little bit, a churn at a time. Not sure, but if they do need a longer stop for fuel later on, they're going to end up losing quite a bit of track position. They had gained about 25 seconds or so as a result of that short pit stop last time by. That is now going to go out the window. Tom Roach is right behind Vlad Vasiliev as well, Richard, so no traffic between them upon the resumption of racing. That's going to be a genuine battle for the lead, isn't it?
It is. How long's the lap here?
A green flag or safety car?
Any lap on coastal.
Oh, mileage. Right, I'm with you. Sorry. 2.1 miles.
2.1. So, yeah. I was just casting my mind back to, we had an F4 race at Brands when they put the safety car out in the middle of the pack. I don't know if you saw that one.
No.
And Phil Gluey was commentating. We absolutely went into one. But, you know, great officiating here. Picked up the leaders. Great spotting. But it is a bigger lap than Brands Indy to be able to pick up.
A little,
to be
not
fair.
Massively though. I think only half a mile longer. Maybe
1.2 Brands,
isn't it? 1.2. Right,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but still difficult to do because there are.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. No.
Not at all. Cars here, after an hour of green flag racing, are spread around the entirety of the track, and it's not uncommon. We saw it in race 1, didn't we? That very late safety car after about 2 hours 40 of green flag running, and they didn't quite get the leader, but they've nailed it both times this time around. I suppose the Vape Club car is one of the easier ones to spot, isn't it? It's quite a distinctive livery. Clapham North have stopped. Exited the first corner.
George or Abbey?
George, isn't it? Because it's stint number 4. So George Grant has stopped. Good timing in a way that it's happened behind the safety car. That's not a good place to be stranded at green flag, is it?
No. I haven't had a chance to talk to George today. We sort of had a wave in the distance from him, and that was about it. Got a full beard now, hasn't he, as well?
Yes. Yes, he's starting to resemble Father Christmas a bit, isn't he, I think, with the facial hair and the white curly hair.
I tell you what, that's actually an appropriate moniker for him because he helps a lot of people.
Exactly.
He brings a lot
That's
of joy.
where I was going with that, Richard.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get him the red outfit, though. Maybe Race of Remembrance. If he's here for that, we'll get him in the Santa suit.
Yes, well, they do the fancy dress run. I'm not sure he's down for swimming in the sea necessarily in November, but yeah.
Do you do that? I can never do it. It's our wedding anniversary. So my missus won't, no, we're not going to Anglesey in November. It's got to be somewhere hotter.
I think I'd agree with her there, to be honest. That's, I think I'd say the same to you. No, never done Race of Remembrance. I always say I will.
I will, yeah, me too.
A tricky time for me, so
Rob Lewis covers it anyway, so we're all right.
And he'll do a better job than me anyway, so that's probably for the best all round.
Does he do it? I wonder, does Rob do that in his shorts? We have to... Kieran, does Rob Lewis do Race of Remembrance in his shorts? He actually wears long trousers, does he? And a woolly hat. Yeah, I've seen the woolly hat. I've seen the silly hats that he wears, but he shorts the rest of the time, isn't it, for Rob?
Yes, it is.
Like one of the scouts, dib, and all that kind of stuff. But
yes. Even I have to say that Kieran is the only member of the team brave enough to don shorts today. Although by Birmingham standards, this is quite a warm day, I believe. So he's possibly not feeling the cold all that much. I was saying earlier on, Richard, I used to come on family holidays to Anglesey in the summer and have much colder weather than this. We were still on the beach in our shorts and swimwear, and did a little bit of swimming.
Where did you stay?
We were the other side. I forget the name of the town now. We were on the eastern coast somewhere. My grandparents owned a caravan for years over there. And,
that's nice though.
Yeah, Mum used to have her summer holidays here, and they did that for a few years with me. And then I developed a taste for slightly warmer climes outside of the United Kingdom. But lovely place to come and spend a weekend now because there's so much to do here as well. Actually, there's loads of sightseeing, really nice walks up through some of the hills and around the coastal walks particularly. In fact, I've holidayed just outside Holyhead before, and some beautiful walks up over the cliff top. So well recommend. I'm not being paid by the Anglesey Tourism Board, but I would very much recommend a weekend in this part of the world. There are far worse places.
Only a weekend.
Yes,
just 2 days.
That's enough. That's enough. Preferably a weekend, of course, where there's some racing here at Anglesey. And this is not the only BRSCC visit to Anglesey this year. I'm back here later this season for another live streamed event. I'm not sure if you're on that one in September time, I think. I will dig out my diary and get the exact date.
This is definitely my only one.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a pity.
Yeah, I'm back here a bit later on in the year at some point. I'll give you all, dear viewers, the date for that event after we've heard from Jamie down in the pit lane.
Looking up. Oh yeah. Up our nostrils.
I am, yes, I am with Paul Turner. I feel very short next to Paul Turner, even with my trainers on. Tricky race for you, a bit of a challenging first stint as well.
Yeah, we were going well. The car was absolutely perfect, and then I went and messed up. Let's say, just ran a little tiny bit wide, paid the price, lost most of the front splitter, and here the front splitter is absolutely crucial.
Obviously, later on that lap you got to Church and it didn't want to turn right. I'm guessing that's a legacy of losing the front splitter as well.
Same lap, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, went in at normal pace and it didn't want to go, so yeah, a little bit wide, but we kept it pinned, kept it going, and you know the car's still actually quite good. We have actually got a little bit of splitter, but it's hard work out there, so we just got to keep plugging away.
And as you see, going up into Rocket, the sun's starting to get in everyone's eyes now. I was talking to a couple of other drivers. Your braking point almost disappears.
Yeah, absolutely. You literally got to do it by feel. So you kind of think, right, how about now? And you've got certain markers on the right hand side as you're coming up, but you cannot see the turning point at all. So yeah, it's pretty dodgy, but that's just how it is.
Gary's out there now. I'm guessing you probably didn't fuel on the last stop. If you did you manage to tell him how the car's feeling or anything?
No, he was straight in. So he was straight. I was straight out. He was straight in. So it was a quick car's feeling good, and wish him on his merry way.
All right, fantastic. Thanks a lot, mate. That's Paul Turner from Team Greenheath. And just to confirm, guys, I'm in shorts in the pit lane, and I'm absolutely freezing.
And that is why you don't wear shorts at 9 o'clock at night in Anglesey, Jamie, as you well should know. This is not your first radio either.
But full marks for listening in.
Yes, someone is listening. Thank goodness. In fact, I wonder how many spectators do we have up on the... there's a smattering. There's a smattering of spectators on the hill up overlooking Rocket. I can see at least 7 or 8 people braving the conditions at what must be the windiest part of the circuit, and they're about to see a race restart because the safety car snuck into the pit lane without me even realising, and we've now got a battle for the lead as immediately Rob Boston Racing go to the front and Tom Roach relieves Vlad Vasiliev of first position. That did not take long, Richard.
It did not. Tom Roach wasn't going to muck about, was he? Straight through into the lead, and we'll try now and get away as we head towards the penultimate session, the penultimate set of changes. Not got too long, have we? Let's have a quick look.
4.5 minutes.
Right, yep.
Yeah, so this is going to get very busy again. A bit like the first safety car we had. That was with only about 5 minutes of the stint left that it came in. And we did see quite a few teams choosing to come in a little bit earlier as a result. GCI, every time we see GCI at Rocket, it seems like they're elbowing their way past somebody. That was the Axiometrics car, I think, being lapped by the 111 car, which sits in 5th position. But Vlad Vasiliev could do a lot worse here, Richard, couldn't he, than just tagging along with Tom Roach. Tom's clearly a little bit quicker, but the power of the slipstream in these cars means that Vlad should be able to stick with him. Yeah,
he should be all right, shouldn't he? I can't remember, refresh my memory, Andy, who's still got to refuel?
So I believe, based on my slightly educated calculations, that the top 2 will probably need more fuel. They gained about 20 seconds in the last pit cycle over those that double fueled. So I think the top 2 need fuel. Everyone else, though, I reckon is good to go, at least in the lead group.
That's going to be interesting, isn't it? So that safety car came at a good time for the likes of GRD, who was 7th at the time, just past Axiometrics to go 6th with... Is Christabel still in, or is this his last stint, or is he
This
done?
is his last stint, yeah.
Right, so...
He'll be in early, I suspect, yeah. Correct myself then, I said Axiometrics were being lapped. I apologise, they weren't. They are
still
on the lead lap, very much so, and sticking with the GRD car in 7th position. GRD giving the bumper to GCI, look, and shoving them up behind the Demon Tweaks car. GCI then defend the inside line, and Christabel tries the outside, not quite able to do it. Then there's a big stack up to Vel, ends up over the curb and the grass. Oh, that was very dicey indeed. He was trying to be very polite to GCI and not really put the pressure on Craig Butterworth, but Craig, in the end, nearly ended up making contact with the one car and then leans on the 207.
Yeah, they all make it through safely at the moment. 2 minutes to go before the window opens for the penultimate stop.
Ooh. A 1-lap penalty, Richard, for G-Force. I haven't seen that for a while. That's for pitting outside the pit window. You lose a whole lap for doing that, so they, I think, timing correct that and just dock them a lap, but I haven't seen that for a while.
That's that's a pain, isn't it, for them? Christabel having another look on the inside as we change shot.
Yes, Sheridai's here with some lapped traffic to deal with, and behind them, the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport car of Farkini. So the silver car passing the 109, that's not for position, but the next car behind is for position, as Farkini tries to keep the UVO car in contention for a double Anglesey win. Now, I said earlier on that has happened before, that we've had the same team win both races at Anglesey. It was actually last year Team GRD, who else, won both races. In fact, they did the double the year before as well.
And the 2 Anglesey events before that were UVO Hoffman.
Correct, yes, you're absolutely right. So actually the last time that we had 2 different winners at Anglesey was 2021, when DispatchBay.com, the 221 car, won the first race, and UVO Hoffman's won the second
and
one.
And that doesn't count because it was a COVID year.
Yes. Let's go with that, yeah. We didn't come here in 2020, actually, which was a real shame because of everything that happened that year. And so Anglesey double header, double race winners, not uncommon, and UVO will be hoping they can continue that.
It was kind of a decider, wasn't it, really, with 2 doubles? I think UVO, as you said, won in 2021, so they have one more. They've got 2 more than GRD,
right?
So they'll go away as still the kings of Anglesey.
Yes, I'm sure they'll be claiming that title.
Yeah.
And Farkini was very pleased to hear that they'd broken a Fun Cup record, unofficial Fun Cup record, by leading every lap of the first
that
race.
That was some going, isn't it?
I couldn't actually believe that had never happened before, but never before had the same team led every single lap. There was a lead change. We've never had a Fun Cup race with no lead changes. That sort of makes sense, right? You've seen the way the racing goes, but there was only one in that first race, which is a Fun Cup record. We've had a fair few more in this second race, though, it must be said, with a number of different teams up there leading the race, and a number of lead changes, particularly in the early stages, and in fact one immediately after this restart, of course, with Tom Roach claiming the lead for Rob Boston Racing.
GRD in 5th. We're actually outside the top 6 at the start of this particular stint, so good stuff from Chris Duval. But the Rob Boston car's got the lead out to 1.267 seconds now, as UVO putting pressure on the 220 car, looking to try and get past him and get away from the Sheridai's car behind him. That's the thing, isn't it? When you start getting into traffic, you've got to basically have eyes in the back of your head as well.
Indeed so. So UVO and Sheridai's, they've both had a stint at the front of this race. They are among the 7 different teams that have led at least a lap today, and 11 lead changes up to this point. So it's been a very different race to the first one earlier on today. And I suspect we're not done with lead changes. I've just got a feeling this one's going to keep on bubbling away into the final stint, isn't it? We're into the second to last pit window now, as the UVO car there nips up the inside of FFS. What a shame FFS have had issues in both races. They've been quick, haven't they?
They have been, yeah. It's been good. I wonder if they got nostalgic seeing the Caterhams earlier on as well.
Former Caterham racers, aren't they? And they've transitioned really well over into Fun Cup. They've always been quick, but again, not necessarily had the good fortune that you feel they deserve. But I'm sure their day will come. So many things have to go right to win a Fun Cup race, don't they? You can't just rely on good fortune. But if you don't have the luck, then that unfortunately takes you out of contention. Right, Vape Club are in. They are fueling. It's a single churn of fuel for the 272 car. And Ted Bradbury is being plugged in for a double stint. So the final hour of this race is going to be all Ted Bradbury.
And I don't think we'd bet against him, would we, from there? It's going to be an exciting finish for sure. So Templehead is still going to do another stop. And they have to get out, don't they? If they're not, even if they're stopping, they have to get out, plug themselves back in. I'm guessing that can be slower than the push and pull, where you get one in, one out, which looks terribly. So if you watch like UVO do it, it is one movement. It's like, I was reminded, do you ever have a slide projector where you push the slide in one side and it's like that for me. Young people won't have a clue what I'm talking about.
I'm nodding, but I'm not completely sure I'm following Richard, no.
All right. You never had a slideshow when you were younger? There was a little slide projector, and the slide's on one side, you put the next one on the other side, and you push it through. The other one comes out.
No.
You haven't got
no.
Anyway, When you see a decent stop in Fun Cup, that's right. When you're looking at transparencies on, older people will know.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you very much.
I'll take your word. You've never led me astray yet. But yes, I did have a point to make before that.
Sorry about that. Oh, there we go.
It's fine. But yes, Ted Bradbury. It was something to do with Ted Bradbury. I can't remember what it was. Well, it'll come to me.
Was it about getting in and out of the car? He's got one stint. He's got to get out.
There we go. Yes, it was nothing. It was to do with Ted Bradbury. Yes. So it used to be that you had to get out of the car, run around the car, and get in. They realised that running in a live pit lane is possibly not the most sensible thing to do.
It's very old school, though, isn't it?
Very old school, yes. But they now you just get out and back in through the same door. But John Ratcliffe made an interesting point earlier on today, which was that is slower. Because when you're changing driver, one driver gets out of one door, the other gets in the other door, it's a lot slicker. Whereas here you have to get out and in the same door on the car. Right, let's stop waffling, shall we? Because we've got a three-way fight here for second position, and that's the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport car trying to fend off Sherrodice and not able to do so. So the Sherrodice car gets through, UVO leading there on the GRD car, which has not stopped yet, interestingly. Of course, it's Riley Phillips in for this stint, isn't it, with Christopher to get in next, and they have just slipped back behind.
Christopher was stint 3. Did they change it?
Oh, sorry, no, you're right. I beg your pardon. It is Riley Phillips in this time. How many years I've been commentating on those three? They always use the same driver strategy, and it always confuses me. So yeah, interesting then. Riley Phillips very much getting stuck in, but not able actually to make the sort of progress through this group you would expect.
Georgie's helped out there, isn't he? On the Abby Eaton, Poppy. Been a while, I think, since I've seen Abby race anything, you know.
Okay.
I can't remember the last time I saw Abby Eaton race. Might even have been one of her Mazda years. Oh no, Carrera Cup. She did Carrera Cup, didn't she?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And of course, the first two rounds of the Fun Cup Championship, where she led laps in both races early on. That team I think are going to be ones to watch in the second half of the year, really. I think as George gets quicker and quicker in this car with the guidance of Abby Eaton, I think they could be contenders if things go their way. Here comes Riley Phillips then to the outside of the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport car. That's a brave move to make, especially against UVO, who won't leave you a lot of room, as we see there. But Riley doesn't care, keeps his foot in it. He doesn't mind overtaking on the grass here at Anglesey, and he does so again at Rocket Corner.
Up onto the podium, so well done, Riley. This is stint 4 now. Is it stint 4 or are we in stint 5 now?
We're in at the end of 4. They haven't stopped yet, so
right,
still in stint 4. So yeah, you're right. It is Riley Phillips, and it will be. There's 2 more stints left. My brain has deserted me. They've got 2 more stints left. And so the last 2 stints will be Simon Rudd and Riley Phillips. Yes, so it's Riley in the car now. I doubted myself then. And Christa Bell's driving is done now, isn't it, in that number 1 car. So Riley Phillips then, with 1 more overtake to try and make before the end of this stint, but we will be seeing him back out for the final half hour or so a bit later on. Can he find a way past now the Sherrodice car, which has been a factor all day, hasn't it? Matt Hyde and Peter Belshaw, they've been a potent pairing today. Yeah,
they have been. I've got to thank Matt Hyde for offering chips earlier on as well. In the cafe, because I went in and it was too busy, so I didn't bother. He said, you can have some of our chips if you like. Thanks, Matt. Very,
Did
very
you take
nice
him up
of him.
on that offer?
I didn't actually, no, I just had a cup of tea. That was it.
They're good chips here from the Anglesey Cafe.
It's great food in there.
Yeah, really good.
Terrific food.
Right, through goes the GRD car as we're chatting about lunch. And, GCI are slow on track, heading up the back straight. Is that a drama for GCI? They're heading towards Rocket now, and the 111 car is off the... But yes, the smoke. There is smoke from the left rear corner. I'm seeing this out of the window. So the red and black 111 car heading up through Rocket Corner now has a problem. Have they just pitted? No, they haven't made this pit stop yet, so I'm not sure what the drama is, but they're certainly going to be pitting this time. So I wonder what that is for GCI. That's a shame, though. Again, they've been really competitive in both races, haven't they?
They have been, just outside the top 6 at the minute, and that is not going to get any better. GRD up into 2nd now. So it's Rob Boston racing rare vinyl. GRD still there. Sherrodice in 3rd, trying to stay with them. UVO Hoffman's down in 4th. And we're waiting for that smoky car to come round.
It is only now coming down through the corkscrew, so they're going to be pitting, definitely. Is it a puncture? I think that's a left rear puncture.
I think you're right, yeah.
Is that tyre flat? I reckon it possibly is. We might see possibly in a moment. It's coming in.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, it is, yeah. Flat left rear tyre.
Good spot, Andy.
GCI, well, we've seen a couple of punctures today. Now, we've sort of been putting it down to contact, but be surprised. Mind you, the GCI car has been involved in a few pretty tight battles. I think Craig Butterworth was going to pull the car into the garage, and the team told him, no, it's just a tyre change. We can sort that on the pit apron, and they can use this as the mandatory stop. So, okay, they've lost a bit of time, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, saved a little bit by having the pit window open, which is a little bit of better news for them. So, 51.48.
And in come GRD as well. And yet, no fuel for GRD, as I suspected. So Team GRD from second position are making their penultimate pit stop. Simon Rudd gets in for the final time. The team are waving him on, but he's not got the belts done up yet. The door's closed now. Away he goes. And the number 1 car back out into the fray. And Rejoy, this is going to be close actually with the Vape Club car. The Vape Club car, which has got Ted Bradbury in it, I think is going to be just behind GRD heading into the banking. But that's significant. That could be for the race lead, Richard.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, isn't it? Simon Rudd and Ted Bradbury. And they will race each other. No, make no mistake about that. They will get stuck in and have a go at each other. Bradbury, will he be mindful of the fact that changing over to yourself is slower? He needs to get into the lead and get away. We know that GRD are very slick.
Well,
on the stops.
They are, and they might have a fuel advantage here, GRD, remember. I'm not convinced that Vape Club are going to be able to do this final stop without fuel. They might have put enough fuel in this time to get to the end, but that's part of the reason that they've lost the lead, I think, because they've spent longer in the pit lane than GRD, who had a dry stop. So there you can see them just disappearing out of shot, the Vape Club 212 machine chasing down GRD, so Ted Bradbury with Simon Rudd to try and catch up to. And there they go, flashing through screen, the blue and white number 1, the white, pink and yellow number 212, and that I think is going to become the net battle for the race lead once the leaders pit in a lap or so.
I think you're right. That's once they're up to speed, they go across the line now. So the leaders beginning to close up. Simon should be up to speed by now. The gap is GRD 28-29. Yep, only a second or so between the pair of them.
Yeah, so that's going to be, well, let's see whether Bradbury is quicker than Simon. I mean, that's not a guarantee. We know Ted is quick, but Simon's not slow, is he? And he's certainly not going to roll over when Ted gets there. So, well, they're actually together going up the back straight, so I think maybe Ted could be close enough to make the move this time. We're following here the battle for second at the moment. Uvio are back ahead of Sheridais, but into Rocket, we've got the, there in the top of shot, just caught a glimpse of them. Ted Bradbury going for the move, and there's almost contact between them. Ted Bradbury knew the significance of that, didn't he? And he has got back ahead of the GRD car.
How happy is Simon Rudd going to be about that? Because that was a barrel down the inside, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
Yeah, 100%, because you get fired off. But
well, yes, I suppose you're right. I've seen Riley Phillips get involved in similar situations to that, I will say.
Yes.
And, you know, that's, which, not complaining. We love it. We love a little bit of close quarters racing. Uvio in for their penultimate pit stop, but there is Riley Phillips, and he is going to get ahead of the Uvio car then. So Uvio with a bit longer in the pit lane. I think they took some fuel there, didn't they, the Uvio Hoffman's Motorsport car? And so there goes Bradbury. There behind him is Simon Rudd, and there in the background was the fabulous Randaccio driven Uvio Hoffman's Motorsport car back out into the race. So the last ingredient we need to add to this already pretty spicy mix is the Rob Boston Rare Vinyl car. They're going to be pitting this time around from the lead. Where do they come out in relation to this group of cars at the front? That's going to be fascinating.
it's great when you get the shots that Alpha are giving us as the drivers, you know, when you actually see them in the car. And Ted Bradbury was very animated as he came down the hill through the bus stop into that last corner, and you could almost see him looking over. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And now Simon Rudd's got back on it, so he's taken the challenge back to him. He's just taken stock of what happened on the previous lap, and he's not being left.
Leader is in, Richard, so there it is, right on cue. The 169 car is in. They've got fuel waiting, interestingly. So I think this is going to be a slightly slower pit stop. Now they're right at the pit exit end of the pit lane. I'm going to watch out of the window. Here comes Ted Bradbury with Simon Rudd latched onto his rear bodywork. They haven't yet started the driver change down at Rob Boston Racing. It's James Riley getting into the car. I don't think they're going to get this done before Bradbury goes through. In fact, they're not. Bradbury is going through now. So Ted Bradbury there goes through to reclaim what will be the lead of the race, with Simon Rudd going with him. And in fact, Sherrodies are going to get out in front of Rob Boston as well. So Rob Boston Racing are going to be in about 5th position, I think, when all is said and done. And this is the advantage to getting those fuel tanks filled earlier in the race. They couldn't have known there was going to be a safety car, but the fact there was a safety car has massively played into the hands of those that dumped the fuel in at half race distance.
Well, Rob Boston Racing, of course, new to the championship. I know he was so excited about coming and joining. Had a conversation with him at Croft and told me that he was coming in, so it was really great to hear that. Abby Eaton just popping a move there as they head up towards Rocket as well. So what are you going to do? I mean, I was going to say, will we see Simon Rudd try and make the move? He will. He'll want the lead and want to try and get in front here of Ted Bradbury. So this is in many respects what you don't see in a lot of championships, is the front runners getting to go head to head.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been treated to that a few times in this race. It's been one of those races where none of the potential winners have dropped out, have they? In other Fun Cup races this year even, we've had early drama which has taken leading contenders out. Look at this afternoon's race when GRD was spun and they sustained damage early on, and that was it. They were out of contention then for the rest of the race, whereas here they are well and truly in contention, and if the other teams are going to beat them, they're going to have to put in a near perfect performance in order to snatch the win away from them. It's a proper battle of the very best in Fun Cup this, and that's why it's been so entertaining.
GRD, Simon Ruddy's so fired up, he had his best lap of the race on the previous tour. Just looking at that, went green there on the timing screen, and this is firing him up, having Ted Bradbury in front of him.
And he's only just in front of him at this stage. I think Simon's close enough here, if he wants to make the move. This will be telling, won't it? Does he go for the move, or does he sit behind? Well, there's your answer. Pulls alongside Ted Bradbury and looks to the outside line for the lead of the race with 45 minutes to go. Bradbury's not going to roll over, though. He's lit on the brakes, stops the car just in time for the corner, runs a bit wide, but that's okay. The next corner's a right-hander, and that will be advantage Bradbury. But that rather answered my question, didn't it? Simon Rudd does want the lead, and he might yet get it, Richard.
He may well get it. That is what our good friend John would call an up and under. Without the Eddie Waring. Again, you won't know Eddie Waring, but John and I have been talking all about that when you've been absent doing GTs.
Oh, okay. Right.
But yeah, Simon Rudd, look at that. This is what we wanted, the battle for the lead, and now it's going to be Ted's turn to chase.
Yes, and this is good news, isn't it, for the cars behind, for Uvio, for Sherrodies, for Signature RV, who have still got Marcus Clutton waiting to go. Remember, John Whitehouse is in the car now, but Marcus Clutton will be in 15 minutes' time or so. They could still be a contender if the leaders start tripping over each other, which they are a little bit. Their last laps were not particularly quick because of that exchange at Rocket. It could invite others into the party.
Fascinating to watch, and is Ted going to just sit back for a few laps, take stock, have another go, as perhaps we saw Simon Rudd do? Simon's move, I've got to say, the cleaner of the two.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
He'll take that. Ted won't give a monkeys about it. I love both of them. They're both great guys and great racers.
But it's interesting, isn't it? They are different people. They've got different attitudes to racing. They're different experience levels. Ted is still so close to the beginning of his racing journey, whereas Rudd's been around for a long time.
He won't thank you for that. He's painting him.
I'm calling you experienced, Simon, not old, experienced. And that experience is telling. That's why he's a reigning champion. But different mindsets, slightly different driving style. Simon's capable of getting his elbows out, don't get me wrong, but Ted only seems to know that setting, doesn't he? He's just always on attack, and it's so exciting to watch.
It is very exciting stuff. 43.37. I didn't write the driver changes down after that, so it's all settled down. So need to do my fourth stop stats.
Well, let me help you with that.
Thank
then
you
I'll give
very
you a
much.
top 10 rundown, shall I? Team GRD then lead the way. Simon Rudd, as discussed, is in that car. Ted Bradbury in the 212 car in second position. Uvio Hoppens Motorsport, that's Fabulous Randaccio in third. And Sherrodies UK, number 251 in fourth position. That car driven by Peter Belshaw. Then it's Rob Boston Rare Vinyl. They dropped down to fifth with that lengthy fuel stop, but should now be fueled to the end, I think, the 169 car. That car now driven by James Riley. Sixth position for Signature RV. That, as I just said, is John Whitehouse. Axiometrics, number 103, they're up in 7th position. That car driven by Will Smith. And in 8th place, number 14, Greenheath, having a better time of it this time with Paul Turner at the wheel. Track Focused in 9th position, number 49 is Sean Cooper, and the top 10 completed by Sunoco Racing. They've had a solid race this time around so far. Anyway, it's Anders Hildebrand in for the final time, with Phil Keane to take over for the final set of pit stops. We've got 42.5 minutes left of this enthralling 4th round of the Fun Cup Endurance Championship. And it's only half a second separating the top 2 teams, and only another 5 seconds back to UVA Hoffman's Motorsport in 3rd, who are quicker at the moment than the cars ahead of them fractionally. Fabulous Randaccio taking a 10th or 2 out of the 2nd place car last time by. But Team GRD then establishing themselves out in front. I sort of expected Ted Bradbury to get back ahead of Simon on that lap, but he wasn't able to. So Simon Rudd then establishing the lead, and actually establishing an 8/10 of a second lead at the end of that previous lap. And that's pretty impressive for Simon. He's up for the fight. There's always a certain element of pride among Fun Cup drivers. Every couple of years there's a new hotshot that comes into the championship who sort of takes the unofficial mantle of fastest driver on the grid. For years it was Nigel Greensall, and then we had a few of the younger drivers start to come in, as we get a replay here of how Simon Rudd got the lead. I'll get back to that point in a moment. It was a great move on the outside, wasn't it, into Rocket?
Yeah, superb stuff. Makes the move, goes for the switchback, isn't quite going to work there, and then just spots the gap, has the momentum out of that Rocket hairpin, and then down the inside, down towards Peel.
Yeah, really well executed, patient move, and it looked like Bradbury was going to do the same thing to him actually coming out of Peel, but Simon was committed then into the left-hand part of the corkscrew and managed to keep Ted Bradbury behind him. That's the part of the circuit at which Ted had a nasty crash a couple of years ago, didn't he? In his debut season, I think, of Fun Cup, went off into the barrier and either broke or badly sprained his wrist. He hit the wall.
Remember that.
And it was,
right.
Well, whatever his first season was, 2 or 3 years ago now, as the car hit the tyres. It wasn't a big hit, but it whipped the wheel out of his hands, and Ted hurt himself. I think had to miss a race, I seem to recall, that year. Jamie, I'm sure, will be correcting me if I'm wrong as we speak, that's it'd been nice to see him bounce back from that. He was fresh into Fun Cup at that point. It was only his 2nd season of racing anything, of course, in 1 year of Mazdas, and then straight over into Fun Cup, where he's very much made a name for himself as now, sort of unofficially, the fastest driver on the grid. But for the last few years, that's been Riley Phillips, and there are other drivers now that want to try and prove themselves against the likes of Ted Bradbury. So actually, what Simon Rudd is doing in this stint is going to mean quite a lot to Simon. To be keeping Ted at arm's length is not easy to do.
Simon's could have been a great peddler, whatever he's been in. I'm mindful of stuff that I've covered that he's been in. He was good in Ginetta, sensational for a couple of seasons in Focus Cup as well. And when you think about that, 2 completely different disciplines. Out and out sports car racing to front wheel drive, effectively production saloon car racing with Focus Cup. Whatever you put him in, a little bit like who's the lad that won the TTs and the Hondas, and he's now in Minis. Matt Luff. A bit like him. Whatever you stick him in, he just turns up at the front.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Really nice guy, Matt, as well. I'd love to have him in Fun Cup, actually. He's never done any endurance racing, to my knowledge, but I reckon he could be tempted.
I'll have a word with Mr. Shortle, his manager, and say, oh, there we go, there's a driving partner there. For Jamie Peters-Ennis, when I was catching up with him at the BTCC at Snetterton, said that he's been maybe talking about Aidan Hills coming in.
Oh, that would be good.
Aidan Hills and Matt Luff. How about that?
Paul Rose won't be happy.
Wave goodbye at 10k.
Yeah, definitely.
But then we've said that before, and you come up with these dream pairings, and none of them can do it.
Yeah, we've had stars from Ginetta Junior Racing, British Touring Car Champions have come and given this a go, and not quite been able to do it. It's not easy.
Aidan and Matt, though.
Potent pairing, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, let's work on it. I'll speak to them and I'll put a word in, and maybe I'll get a share of the 10k if they win it.
The only thing is Rick Shortler turned up at the wrong track. Do you know Rick?
I've met him a couple of times, yeah. Quite a character.
He's a great. Sorry, Rick, if you're listening. We had him down for like the Matt Hyde and Simon Rudd thing with the co-commentary in the esports Formula Ford, and he was going to, as he was an old Formula 4 driver, and he just couldn't get the hang of Discord, so he couldn't quite make it, bless him.
To be fair, I'm not great with it either, so I feel for him there. It's a young man's game, is sim racing, and indeed the internet. Right, back to the race. 1.6 seconds Simon Rudd's taken out of Ted Bradbury. Now, I don't want to diminish Simon Rudd's achievements here because I do think he's going very well. His lap times are strong. He's in the 18s. I wonder whether there's a bit of fuel saving going on for Bradbury here because they must be touch and go on whether they need any more fuel at the next stop. If he can save some fuel in this stint, even if they do need a splash at the final stop, it might only be a splash, and he probably backs himself to still have a go at the GRD car in the final stint, even if he gives a couple of seconds away now. It's purely hypothetical, that, but I wonder if there's some truth to that.
That's interesting conjecture, isn't it? That could well be the case. It's going to be interesting either way.
Oops.
Having seen him go wheel to wheel and battle and swap places with Simon Rudd to do the same with Riley Phillips a little bit later on. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
That's a fight I'd buy a ticket for. Ted Bradbury and Riley Phillips, isn't it? Bit of damage here on the Demon Tweaks number 207 car. 12th position they're running at the moment. The better placed of the two Demon Tweaks cars after the 209 had its issues earlier on with damage and I think a penalty I seem to remember, but a little bit of bodywork trailing on the right rear corner. GCI go through. They've had their issues with the left rear puncture earlier on, and they've got Greenheath behind. Really nice feel-good story this for Greenheath because they, after the issues they had in the first race earlier on with well, we won't go over it again to spare Gary's blushes, but the delay they had early in race 1, if they can get themselves a top 10 here, and they could still be on for a Masters podium, remember, the pink highlighted numbers on your timing tower, they're all Masters competitors, which means they've got at least one driver in the driver lineup over the age of 45, I think. I always forget this number.
55.
55, there we go.
As at the 1st of January.
Well, there we go, thank you. I'm glad you're paying attention. So if you have one driver in your lineup over the age of 55, you're automatically entered into the Masters category. There are lots of them. I think the majority of the grid these days actually is entered into Masters.
And that's actually quite a high benchmark age-wise. A lot of championships will do it over 40.
It is, yeah,
So
exactly.
55 is...
Yeah, absolutely. And yet, look at them. A Masters car leading. We've got 7 of the top 10 cars are Masters cars. But yeah, Greenheath could yet get a Masters podium, and they'd absolutely love that, I think, after what happened earlier on today.
That doesn't look too good, does it? Back end of that hanging off.
They're just trying to hang on to the pit stops, aren't they, I guess?
Is that going to be a meatball at some point? I suppose there's no danger of it. The worry is, does it hit a marshal's post? It's not going to hit race fans, but...
No, or does it fall off and get stuck under the wheel or in the wheel assembly, because it is dragging on the ground just in front of that right rear wheel, isn't it? But if they can just get through the next 5 minutes, they can come in and fix that during the mandatory stop rather than
That's true.
making an unnecessary stop. That's what they're hoping for. Whether that happens, we'll have to wait and see.
It's only 5 minutes to go to the final round of pit stops. And again, these races go so very, very quickly, don't they? The light disappearing, the racing laps are going to be disappearing as well. When are the teams staying over tonight, or are they and then going home tomorrow, or are they going to?
Maybe some of the Southerners,
some.
yeah, might do. JPR, of course, are based in Cheshire, so they're not a million miles away. Quite a lot of the teams based in the northwest, but teams like GCI, I'm pretty sure they're based down south, aren't they? So yeah, they may choose to. It's a late finish, isn't it? 10 o'clock. By the time you've packed up, it's going to be well gone 11. So I suspect you might be right. The bodywork has become detached. Look on the Demon Tweaks car. So the danger of a meatball flag, black and orange flag, I think reducing now as the lead gap continues to go out. 2.8 seconds now. If it is fuel saving for Bradbury, I think he'll be getting a bit concerned at just how far ahead the leading car is getting. But I suppose things will all become clear when they do make that final stop. But yeah, it looks good for GRD at the moment.
Yeah, Simon will be pleased with this session before. I'm guessing he will do a standard kind of 30-minute one, maybe get Riley Phillips out straight away, rather than he won't leave it till the end of the changes.
No. We've had this conversation before, though. Simon's not really a lot slower than Riley Phillips, is he?
No,
so certainly when he's on form, which he clearly is today. So that again gives them that freedom, doesn't it, to time the pit stop not around who's in the car and who's getting in, but around things like traffic and track position and fuel mileage, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see what they choose to do. Back out across the line comes this GCI Greenheath battle. It's not for position, this, but they are clearly of a similar pace. The closest battle for position is for 6th position, actually. Axiometrics are catching and I think about to overtake. In fact, they've just overtaken Signature RV, going up the back straight towards Rocket, the orange car, just ahead of the blue and orange car. So Signature RV fall down to 7th place now. Axiometrics 103 car driven by Will Smith for this penultimate stint. There he goes, right on cue. And the Axiometrics machine jumps up an extra place, but I still maintain that we shouldn't count Signature RV out here. Marcus Clutton is rapid. If we get a safety car especially, he's going to be a factor, and we nearly had one because we had a spin then at the corkscrew for the 246, not 246, 248, I beg your pardon, which is the hire car of Avery Baker and Toby Hall. Toby enjoying his second ever motor race, although not enjoying having a spin at the corkscrew, I'm sure. Thankfully, though, got the car going.
Do you know who got him in? Was it Taste Today or?
No, I'm not sure, actually. It was a Jamie question, maybe. Jamie's been speaking to him, I think. Yeah, Toby with Avery Baker, his teammate. Avery, I think, is Canadian, isn't he? And I don't know whether he travels over here to the UK or whether he now is based over this way. I've heard both versions of that story today, but either way, he's more of a historic racer, and Toby is new to this completely. And where are they running at the moment? 248. They are in 16th place, which is not bad going. They're only a couple of laps down, I think, which for a relatively inexperienced Fun Cup team with such a competitive grid as this is pretty impressive.
So this is I always get me licenses in Monday. This is National A.
Yes.
That's the basic one, and then you go to National B and then International.
Yes, I think so, yes. Is A before B? Yes, it is.
In the alphabet, yeah. I don't know about license-wise. I should know, as my son's about to go and get one, but...
really? Where's he hoping to do some racing?
I don't know. I mean, he'd like to do Legends cars. A bit expensive for him, but I'm trying to steer him towards C1s.
Right, okay.
So either an endurance, share the experience with some other drivers, or maybe have City Car Cup. Told him to get down to his local college and get them to build him a car, you know. That'd be
Oh, well, watch this
something
space.
like that. Yeah, he definitely wants to have a go.
And is this a 2027 project or a bit?
Yeah,
later
2027. He won't do it this year.
Interesting. Okay. Oh well, best of luck to him. Hope he can get that sorted.
Yeah, be nice. Whatever he does, I won't be able to commentate on because it's not. I wouldn't want the conflict.
Of course.
But so as long as he's not on the touring car package, he won't.
Yes, then you're out of a job.
He can do Carrera Cup. That's all right.
Yes. So here comes the Rob Boston car. This is for position. This is 4th place. The Rob Boston car slipping through on the inside of Sherrodies. That is James Riley, isn't it, in the 169 car. Sherrodies is Peter Belshaw again. Yes, with Matt Hyde to take over for the final stint. They are about 17 seconds off the lead, this pair. But again, possibly will gain a bit of time in the final pit stop, depending on how much, if any, fuel they need to add on. Greenheath being warned about track limits now, by the way. So Greenheath with a black and white warning flag. The last thing they want to do is pick up another penalty when they're on course for potentially a strong result here this evening.
What are the main corners for limits here? What are the
Church, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think the exit of the final corner and turn 1 as well.
So is that exit of Church?
Exit of Church,
right.
Yeah, that's... I mean, most
not
of
the
it,
apex.
No, although I have seen people do that, but it doesn't tend to end well. It's pretty self-policing here, though. If you do start running out beyond the edge of those curves, you're straight into the grass. And if you look at the exit of all of those corners, the grass is littered with bits of front splitter. So if you do start exceeding track limits, I'm not convinced you gain a lasting advantage from it, but rules are rules, I suppose.
I'm guessing down here as well on the
exit of the last corner. Yeah, definitely. That's where, as you can see, looking out of the window, where quite a few people have been grass tracking. Scene of destruction left behind. Lots of souvenirs for the marshals at the end of the day. Oh, is this a problem? It is a problem for the 158 car. Is that bodywork rubbing, or is that something more sinister?
I think the gate of the car tells me it's bodywork, but I might be wrong.
Something did fall off it, though. A coil or a spring or something, and they're not pitting, interestingly. So that suggests maybe it is just bodywork. The brake lights just came on the safety car as well, just to that concerned me ever so slightly.
The pit window's open as well, isn't it? So it could have done that.
There is a car stranded at the yellow flags at Rocket. Here we go again. So there's a car stuck at Rocket Corner. We believe maybe some contact was involved. That could explain why the 158 car is smoking from the right front corner, left front corner.
That could be it.
So, okay, we're straight into a pit window, though, so we won't get a safety car until after the pit window, I suspect. But this could give us a real grandstand finish, and all of a sudden, all of those conversations, Richard, about who needs to take fuel and how much time that might lose you, it might not matter if we get a safety car.
No. Do we welcome Alan Gow as the new race director here? Is this what... we don't need an Alan Gow, do we, with Fun Cup?
No scripting
because we've
required
got the Roses
here.
that do the business themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Greenheath in, they're a lead lap car, but the leading cars, I suspect, are going to stay out for a little bit longer. Who's gone missing then? Who's slipping down the timing tower? That's my question. Nothing's immediately jumping out at me, if I'm honest. Yes, there are marshals running to wherever... yes, I can see a driver.
Oh, there we go.
And a roof. A red roof? An orange... Oh, it's Abbey. It's Abbey, I think. Is that
Cornwall
Abbey?
red roof, isn't it?
Sorry?
That's in Cornwall,
It is,
red roof.
Yes.
Is that Abbey Eaton?
I think it's Abbey Eaton. It looks like I think that's Abbey Eaton's helmet. Yes, Clapham North. Clapham North on the race overall. So I think that's Abbey Eaton, who was pulled over, thankfully, in a very safe place, but unhelpfully, very close to the barrier, so we can't see the car. But the marshal's there signalling that the car needs a tow. They will, as I said, I'm pretty sure, wait until after the pit window is done. But then that car is going to need to be recovered. Abbey is helped down off the tyre wall by the marshals. That's a real shame. Another half-decent result, really, that slipped away for Clapham North. They were on the lead lap. They were in contention for a decent top 10 finish, but... mechanical drama seemingly taking them out of contention.
Demon Tweaks and GCI getting stuck in.
Yeah, GCI. Oh, there's more bodywork peeling off this 207 car now. The GRD car is in. GRD is in. So Simon Rudd to hand over to Riley Phillips. I don't see any fuel waiting. So the number 1 car into the pit lane.
Just going to watch how quick this is. In and out. Yeah, it's belts on. One would imagine this is going to be the lead car at the end as well. There we go. Bang. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that was slick, wasn't it? The car that led the race by about 3 seconds in the end when it came in.
And this is the thing, going back to the 3-driver debate. You've got to do it with different combinations, the in and out, with different, with more combinations to do it with.
Yeah, and every driver might have their own seat insert that needs to be taken in and out. And it's, there's something to be said actually for having drivers of similar builds and similar heights getting into the car, because that's one less thing you have to do. It's the kind of stuff that doesn't matter if you have minimum pit stop times. But here, every second counts. But GRD, they're so slick. They've got this down to a fine art, and they've released the car into some nice clean air as well, helpfully. So no traffic around. Snapped throttle cable for the Clapham North car, Jamie reports. So the cars all have ship-to-shore radio, so the drivers can talk to the teams and report back. We've had a spin at the corkscrew I've just spotted. Car rejoining. I think it's the 109 car, Morpheus. In the hands of Steve Walton, it was, and he rejoins right behind the new race leader, Ted Bradbury. So that would have been a scare for Ted as he came down the hill and found a car very slowly picking its way back onto the track.
Yeah, Ted in traffic at the moment. Now, he could really sort of pick his time, can't he, to take the stop. But if he was in a bunch of traffic, might decide to come in earlier and get it out of the way.
Yeah, nips up the inside of Greenheath. I was chuckling at the 207 car and dressing itself down the back straight. Another bit of bodywork flew up into the air and smacked the front of a car behind. It won't have done any major damage, but it would have caught the attention of the driver in the chasing car, that's for sure.
Actually, Ted's not worried about traffic anyway. He's not going to. If he's in traffic, he's not going to worry about coming in because he'll just pass it.
He's not in it for long, is he? Normally,
No,
Ted Bradbury, and he indeed did get past the Greenheath car quite quickly. Into the garage goes the G-Force car, so that was some more significant damage, I think, there done as Greenheath go very wide at Rocket.
They only forgot to close the door before it hit them.
That would have been embarrassing. They avoid any further damage being done as the cars continue to file into the pit lane. Sunoco racing in from 10th. The 249 Demon Tweaks car is in from the 14th place. They pit.
So we're going to have a safety car at the end of this to recover the Clapham North car as it goes off for its MOT.
Yes, and just in the nick of time, potentially. I don't know is the honest answer. The safety car is being prepared, that which I can tell you. When those lights came on, that meant they'd fired the engine up. They'd been put on standby as Ted Bradbury has a huge moment out of the first corner.
That's what you were saying about track limits, isn't it? You know, you
exactly.
go too far, not saying there necessarily, but
Yeah, that was flirting with it, wasn't it? As to whether that would catch the attention of it's the marshals. I don't think they've got sensors here like they do at some other motorsport vision circuits, but the marshals will be monitoring this. Harder to see, I suppose, when it gets dark, so you might be able to get away with a bit more track limits at this time of day. To answer your question, I don't know whether we'll have a safety car. The car's well out of the way, and we're so close to the end now. Whoa! As Tropical Rocket Racing have spun at Rocket, at the Corkscrew, I beg your pardon. Not Rocket, that's where they've done all of their overtaking today, but the Tropical Rocket car is off, and there are other cars going off in avoidance at the Corkscrew here, so this is another car now potentially stuck. I don't think that car... Now remember, Tropical Rocket, they've been struggling to fire up after the pit stops, but miraculously they've got going this time. That's ironic, isn't it? When they're nowhere near the assistance of the pit crew, they have managed to get the car fired up, and they will continue on their way. To have a third attempt at answering your question. Because we're so close to the end of the race, they might choose to leave the Clapham North car there. The only reason we ever get safety cars for cars, even if they're well out of harm's way, is so that the teams can fix the car, get back out on track.
Yeah, race is done now, isn't it?
More
Pretty
or
much.
less, yeah. So
And if it was a safety issue, they called the safety car anyway.
Of course, yes,
Yeah.
but I don't think this is. I think it's well out of harm's way. Abby's done a good job with a snap throttle cable to pull the car out of harm's way. This is close. This is GRD, and this is Rob
Finally,
Boston
Philip.
Racing. This is for position, although Rob Boston owes a pit stop, so they're nearly a full pit stop behind GRD.
Wow, that's turned round, hasn't it?
Really quickly, yeah, because of, again, the longer pit stop for Rob Boston and the dry stops. The last two stops have been without fuel for GRD, and you're now starting to see the time you gain from that.
Yeah, Riley Phillips takes no prisoners, does he? Who's going to make the move now? So, heading up the hill, outside line as they come up towards Rocket, and yeah, easily done in the end. Well, not easily, but he makes it look easy.
He does. To Riley, that was a pretty much a problem-free pass, that, wasn't it? Just slipstream straight past the Rob Boston car, which will have Will Blackwell Chambers in again for the final stint momentarily. Interesting that they're stretching James Riley's stint onwards. Will and Tom, his teammates, more established championship-winning drivers, aren't they? James, in fact, I had a message earlier that I meant to read out from Simon Waterfall, who races in the BMW 1 Series Super Cup, and he said James Riley only first drove Anglesey at a test for that team, the team that Simon runs with, which is run by a good friend of mine, Civic Cup driver, Josh Bromley. There we go, Bromley Motorsport.
Okay. Oh, does he?
Yes, races for him, and drove here at Anglesey in a test before Race of Remembrance, so doesn't know the track particularly well, but Simon says he goes well in the dark, does James, so that's why maybe they should have put him in for the final stint. Simon says
there aren't many dark races. No,
I suppose Race of Remembrance was his chance to gauge that. Maybe went quicker in the dark than the daylight. Allegedly.
Race of Remembrance, Citroen 24 hours and C1 24 hours, and that's
yes, of course, yeah.
And this one,
this is only really into the dusk these days. They moved this race earlier by an hour because it adds actually some real complications in. If you run fully into the dark, there are extra regulations the cars and drivers have to meet to be able to race in the dark. It used to mean they had to have a qualifying session on the Friday night to qualify the drivers to run in the dark. Even though only one driver was going to have a nighttime stint, they still had to run a whole extra session. So it was not ideal. Is that car crabbing? Is the Vape Club car crabbing? As it came towards us then down the pit straight, it looked like it was at a funny angle, and rarely Kieran Mogg, our producer, is agreeing with me. I can tell you that doesn't happen every day, so maybe I'm onto something. I think that car is at a slightly jaunty angle, Richard.
I'll have a jaunty angle. Let's have a look and see whether... I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more obvious down the straight. Let's see as it goes away from us. It's turning, of course, which doesn't help, but yeah, I think it's a little bit... What's that? Right hand down, maybe. So has he had a knock somewhere with someone?
We've seen him off the tracks a couple of times. If you do it on the wrong bit there, you can see the undulations of the curbs can upset the car in the long term. But Ted will know that. Ted will. But then it's 6 hours of racing.
Yeah, true.
You know, he hasn't done 6 hours, but he's done full 3 hours, which is
exactly. He's this is the kind of thing that someone like Ted will be able to drive around, but it might just cost him a couple of tenths a lap, and remember, he dropped back from GRD a little bit in that previous stint to the tune of 3 seconds. He's in. He had to be in because the pit window is closed. He almost loses it coming into the pit lane. That was the most aggressive pit entry
That
we've
was
had
jaunty.
so far. That was very jaunty. There is no fuel, significantly. It's a dry stop, so if he was saving fuel, that could be crucial because they believe they can get him to the end. However, through goes Riley Phillips. Riley Phillips has just gone past the pit lane. There he is, coming across the line. So Riley Phillips to the lead, and Ted Bradbury's got to go the full length of the pit lane now at pit lane speed. He will rejoin in second place with the UVO Hoffman's Motorsport car, interestingly not far behind, but some way back from the leader. That's more than 3 seconds. So I wonder if that car is starting to lose pace, maybe, if it is indeed crabbing down the straights.
Could well be, couldn't it? So we're into the final 17 minutes of our second race. We've got more great rounds to look forward to. I'm looking forward to Brands.
Yes.
And I think Silverstone. I'll double check they haven't double booked, but
Come along anyway. We'll find space on the team for you, Richard. Always a pleasure.
I would love to. Always enjoy Fun Cup wherever it is. As we watch. It was interesting to watch. That was a very quick in and out stop actually by Ted.
Yeah, it was. Didn't hang around, did he? But they did lose a bit of time to GRD. It wasn't quite as quick, maybe, as to our point earlier on, as a traditional driver swap pit stop. Sounds odd, doesn't it? You think it's quicker to keep the same driver in, but for the reasons we described earlier on, that's not really the case. I'm beginning to wonder, though, whether... Because Ted at first was matching Simon Rudd's pace, and then there was a point, wasn't there, where he started to drift by 5 tenths a lap. I wonder if that's when this slight tracking issue arose. If we get the head-on shot down the main straight here, we might be able to have a look. Here he comes. Is the car crabbing? Definitely.
It is, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. So that is... that's going to be slowing him down. There's no two ways about it. He's 9 seconds behind the race leader. He's got 16 and a half minutes to try and bridge that gap. And he's got a car that's not exactly in showroom condition. If he wins this race, he's earned it, hasn't he?
He will have done, yep. Very definitely. I don't think he's going to, though. 16 minutes on the clock. UVO Hoffman's in their new 403 car, still running in third. So do they carry on in the 403 car now for the rest of the year?
That's the plan, I believe, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Keep scoring points for car 403. And they could get second here. If Ted's struggling, then that's only, what, a 4 second, just under 4 second gap between the Vape Club and UVO. So Farkini, now in the UVO car, could be able to get second place. I don't think the Anglesey double is doable, but a win and a second is a good haul of points if they can do it.
It would be. And he's only, well, as they went through Rocket, he's probably the complex behind. So in with the shout of closing up. Amazing, isn't it? 20 to 10, still got light. You think you were watching in the afternoon.
Yeah, I've had certainly gloomier afternoons here in Anglesey over the years where visibility has been poor. I can still see the Welsh mountains off in the distance. That's a good sign that the weather is fair. If you can't see those mountains, it's time to duck for cover because there is weather incoming and it's not pleasant normally. So Bradbury, half a second nearly slower than the leader that time. He's also getting boxed in by the Race Logic car here. Crucially, what are Bradbury's times like compared with UVO? Quicker by 4 tenths on that lap. So at the moment, okay, it might be costing him a chance to chase after the leader, but he's not losing time to the car behind, and that is absolutely crucial. So second place at the very least, if he keeps that up, should be safe. Left rear suspension damage we're hearing from, I'm guessing, Jamie, down in... Oh, no, who told you that, Kieran? Oh, camera operator. A very, very observant camera operator. It's Ian there. Well, he is very mechanically minded, is Ian?
So the team will be signing him up.
Yes, definitely. He's eagle-eyed. So rear suspension damage, whether through contact or just constant abuse of the curbs, we don't know. But the fact is that's going to cost them time, as is a stop-go penalty for the 109 car, Richard.
Very much so. Speeding in pit lane for 109, which is the FNS Morpheus Motorsport car. Outside, top 10, so that's going to knock them down on a little bit of points at the moment. But GRD still there as we watch Ted Bradbury, and we look for the UVO car. Comes into shot. Length of the home straight now?
Yes, or 3.7 seconds if you prefer. It came down by 6 tenths that time, so...
5 tenths the previous lap, 6 tenths that one.
Yeah, so interesting then. Bradbury losing a bit more time that time, 3.7 seconds. If you get within a second of the car ahead, you start to pick up a hint of a slipstream, and that will be it then. They'll be absolutely together.
Riley Phillips lapping in the 118s and 118.8, and Ted Bradbury 119.6, 119.0 for UVA Hoffman's, as you said, 6/10. So
yeah, 6/10, 8/10 slower than the leader was Ted, and that isn't Ted Bradbury like pace, is it? As one of the marker posts gets kicked up there by
it's been there for nearly 3 hours.
And it's finally made its way onto the racing line. So that's an extra distraction for the drivers up at the top of the hill. The circuit will need a bit of a clean, won't it, after all of this? There's a lot of dirt and debris littering the side of the road. But marshals might be here bright and early tomorrow with the brushes to get the track ready for a busy day of action on day 2 of this Anglesey event. Lap time check, and it's down by another 4/10, so it's a consistent game, this, isn't it, for Farkini? Is it enough, though? 4/5 a lap with 12 minutes to go. How many laps is that? That's 7 laps, 8 laps maybe to go. 7 laps more likely. It's going to be touch and go, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we're going to get another grandstand finish.
Yes.
If there was a grandstand here.
Yeah, there isn't.
There was.
This not the only circuit in the country without one, I guess. But
Pembrey.
Pembrey is being the other obvious choice. The only circuit in the UK I've not been to yet, Pembrey.
Have you not?
No.
Are you going to rush?
Into Rocket goes the UVA Hoffman's Motorsport car. I'm sure it's a lovely place, but Anglesey's closer to home if I'm going to choose one of the
It's
Welsh
what I
venues.
miss. I've got to say, I miss it. I do miss going to Pembrey.
I'd like to tick it off the list.
Yeah,
It would be nice to do. It's the only car racing circuit. There are 15 different karting tracks.
I think the main reason is probably a Bark track, isn't it? Than
I've had the opportunity through some of my Civic Cup work to go there.
Yeah.
It's always clashed with stuff, so yeah, never made the trip down to Pembrey. I could have gone a few weeks ago, but I was offered a chance to commentate on the Nürburgring 24 Hours. It was a tough decision.
Did you enjoy it?
But possibly more than a weekend at Pembrey. But that's nothing against Pembrey. Yes, it was a great weekend. Wasn't actually at the
Have
Nürburgring.
Fun Cup done Pembrey?
Not to my knowledge, no.
I guess if you're mostly a lot of Northwestern teams, they don't really want to go
Certainly in the
down
early
there
days,
logistically, which is a pity because it'd be nice to have a Welsh Cup. Have an Anglesey.
You can pitch the idea to Paul.
I
Christian.
won't. No.
I'm not sure the pit lane. How big is a pit lane in Pembrey? Is it big enough?
There's a big pit area. The lane's not that long, but there's a sort of assembly. Well, not assembly area. It's like a platform area behind it, which is quite big.
Okay.
So there is a big area there for teams to work and do stuff, but probably might not work.
Interesting. Okay. Well, who knows? Stranger things have happened. If you live near Pembrey and you want the Fun Cup to come to your neck of the woods,
Send us a postcard
yes, send a postcard to Paul or Christian Rose and state your case.
from Mrs. Trellis in North Wales, and you won't know that reference either.
I'm ashamed to say no, I don't.
Addison would have got that, but
I'm sure he would. Different generations. Different
Indeed.
generations. Shall we move on? We've got 10 minutes to go. You can tell that we're at the end of a long day with the final 10 minutes of racing heading our way. And I think we are in for a grandstand finish in this fight for second place. The gap is only 2.5 seconds. And again, it was 3/10 gain that time. Fun Cup have raced at Pembrey.
is this Jamie?
Jamie and Marvin Hall, who for a long time was the photographer for Fun Cup, and he's helped out with a few of the teams in 2007. So before my time, but actually I didn't know that. I think they've only raced there once, maybe.
Is that not on your database?
No, see, I only go back to 2011, which is when it became a championship, because it's hard to find results from. It started back in 2002, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. Not all of the results are available. It would have affected the data, you see. But if anyone out there does have a full collection of Fun Cup results from 2002 to 2010, I'd gratefully take them off your hands. But
a lot of them looking at TSL going back don't have the drivers as well. They just have the teams, which is very difficult to work out who was in.
And I rely on things like lap charts for lead changes, safety cars aren't always. It's something I've always meant to look into. But no, I decided just to go back to 2011. Jamie tells me all results back to 2002 are on TSL. If you can dig them out for me, Jamie, Be my guest.
I don't think the 2002 ones are.
No, I don't think.
I think the meetings are on there, but the results aren't.
He's getting his phone out now on the pit wall, desperate to prove me wrong. The checkered flag can't come soon enough. It's 8.5 minutes away, Jamie. You've got a bit of time to prove me wrong. Prove me and Richard wrong, actually. When I looked a year, or it was a couple of years ago, in fairness, maybe they've been added, who knows. Anyway, I'm sure the viewers at home are fascinated by this. 2.2 seconds is the gap, second to third. And it is then 13 seconds back to Sherrodice in fourth position. Where is the closest battle then, I wonder? There's 1.2 seconds separating Greenheath and Axiometrics for seventh, but that gap's going out, not down. Just had a personal best lap for GCI Racing, who could still get back into the top 10 after that puncture. They're 11th at the moment. They're 6.8 seconds behind Sunoco Racing Team. But on the previous lap, 1.1 seconds quicker. So, yeah, they might just run out of time doing some quick maths. But GCI, the reason they're going quickly is that Craig Butterworth, who's in that car now, has tagged on to the back of Riley Phillips and has not let him go. They've been nose to tail since the start of the stint. And so any lap time Riley Phillips does, Craig Butterworth is matching. And that is a bit quicker than the Sunoco Racing Team car is doing, despite the fact that car's in the hands of Phil Keane, who, as we know, is pretty rapid.
Gap's definitely come down now, hasn't it? And it's clear track as well for the UVO car now, just to try and focus on. Any of you that have raced will know that once you've got that target in your sights, that is a big motivator. We saw that with Simon, didn't we, earlier on when he was closing in on this car as well. So this car's been a little bit of a target for cars from behind. And it looks to me like the UVO car is the body language of it is big chase here for the extra points to carry into the next round. Donington next?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. That's always a good one, Donington, the national circuit.
Yeah.
I think it's national. Has been for the last few years. We have raced on the Grand Prix circuit, but I think it's national. Track limits are a guidance only now, aren't they, up at Rocket? Now that floppy marker's gone, the fearsome floppy marker that was the only thing preventing them from cutting that corner, it's gone, and they're now fully grass tracking the inside line. But yeah, within a lap or so, I think Farkini's going to be within striking range, which gives me just enough time to admit through gritted teeth that Jamie is right. And the results for 2002 are on TSL. What caught us out is that it wasn't called Fun Cup back then. It was called the Uniroyal Team Challenge, which I hadn't.
But has he gone into the results, or is it just the
phone's going to come back out? No, he hasn't.
You see, the meetings are listed, but the results aren't there.
Yeah, so I'm not giving you that one yet, Jamie.
I'll accept the apology.
Now the phone comes back out. Excellent. 5.5 minutes to go.
Getting closer.
Yeah. Oh, Axiometrics are slowing. I've just spotted. They were in 8th position, Axiometrics, and they've just slowed, heading up the back straight towards Rocket. So drama maybe for the 103. There's a bit of smoke in the air is there as well on the school straight, which I think might have come from the 103 car, which is just touring through the Rocket complex now. So we'll get to that in a moment. They are checking the footage to see what happened there. Meanwhile, for second place, Richard, it's measured now in car lengths, not seconds.
Yeah, we've got to take our hat off to Ted Bradbury, haven't we? He's put up a really magnificent fight, kept it on track, fought on gamely. We'll probably get the third place. We've only got 4 minutes 58 to go, but Farkini closing in, and we'll know he sensed the blood at the moment of that P2, and after that win, inspired for them, isn't it? Changing the very clever reading of the rules.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's most people's opinion. I did ask the question of Christian Rose before whether there was a lot of anyone had any issues with it. He said no, not really. It's within the rules. They're entitled to do it, and they could now get second place here, which would be a nice haul of 65 championship points. It's worth 5 points, this overtake, which could be crucial. We've seen championships decided by less than that in the past, and they are alongside now. Ted Bradbury in a wounded Fate Club car is defending as best he can, but there's no doubt about which the quicker of these two cars is, although Farkini is on the grass coming out of Church Corner. That will hurt his run up the hill, but I think the power of the slipstream will mean he's still got half a chance in the braking zone at Rocket. Bradbury predictably defends the inside line, but is that suspension damage going to limit his braking capabilities? Not really.
No, Farkini having a look. Is he going to go for the cutback as Simon Rudd did on the earlier manoeuvre? Is there going to be a gap on the inside? No, there isn't. I'd say Bradbury wise to that this time. He's going to make him go around the outside as far as he possibly can.
Yes, he is. Farkini, though, is not an easy man to keep behind you. Ted Bradbury, is he up for the challenge? He's going to just about slide, literally, across the nose of the Uvio car. This is going to be a real battle, but with 3 minutes to go, he might as well try and keep Uvio behind. There's almost contact. There's a headbutt there nearly from Farkini through the final corner. Bradbury looking in the mirrors. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? He's on the outside, Ted, and looking to try and get a better run through the corner. You can see, though, Ted's got no mid-corner speed, has he?
No, he hasn't. That was a great exit out of the bus stop by Farkini, trying to get the momentum to maybe have a slice through on the inside. He's got to work the outside now of the banking. If it was wet, he would have made that move work there for sure. But then again, we might have seen Bradbury take a different line, and Farkini now outside as they come down through Church Corner onto the school straight. This is a great bit of defending, a lovely bit of racing between the pair of them.
Absolutely. Bradbury in a car that is wounded. We can see that quite clearly. If he can hang on to this, I'll be mightily impressed. Farkini's got a better run, though, this time out of Church. Goes to the outside into the braking zone. Bradbury won't brake until Farkini does, though. And again, sails on into the corner. But as long as he holds the tight line through the right-hander, you can get away without braking yourself a bit through the left because it gives you the defensive line into the next turn. And again, Bradbury keeps Farkini behind him.
Yeah, superb defensive stuff from him, but look at Farkini, the extra speed, super race between the pair of them. He's still on the right line as they head down into the corkscrew once again. This is what you want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, this is proper no-holds-barred racing. Farkini will be enjoying this as well. I can say that with some confidence. Whether he gets ahead of Ted or not, and he will, because Bradbury bounces over the grass, and that was the mistake. He was barely hanging on to the car, and off he goes. But all is not lost, because he will now be in the slipstream the next time we get onto the school straight. So unless Farkini can really gap him through these next two corners, which he can't by the looks of it, Bradbury having a little nibble into the banking, I suspect Ted might still have a chance to come back at him here.
He will certainly have a go. That move just showed me how much he was hanging on to that car, bouncing over the grass. Massive effort from him. Last lap board getting readied. Ted Bradbury, well, you know, he can throw caution to the wind here. He can have a good go, but the gap now is the toe will be broken soon. He's just losing out a little bit, but it's going to be a podium.
Oh, he's very late on the brakes, but yeah, you're right. A podium's still coming, but they would have loved to have had a chance to win this race, but certainly to keep Uvio behind. But I wonder how significant this result for Uvio could prove to be at the end of the year. Those extra 5 points for getting into second position. It doesn't feel like a lot right now, but every point matters there. It's a bit of a points deficit anyway, even after jumping into the 403 car. They are going to, I'm sure, really be happy to get the extra points here if they can hang on. Bradbury's not going away, though, is he? As we begin now, the final lap of the race.
Very, very close indeed. Bradbury's still trying, and that's what you want out of a driver. As you can see the car crabbing down the straight, just loses the rear wheel onto the dirt. He'll lose a little bit more time as a result of that. Still trying hard, runs wider as they come out of turn one, down into the first hairpin for the last time, and he's still the Uvio Hoffman's car. We haven't seen Riley Phillips, of course, because we've been focused on this battle. Having said that, a switchback, he's got his lights on, last few corners.
Ooh, don't drive into the Sunoco car, Riley. Look at that mess behind. That's Green Heath and GCI all trying to knock lumps out of each other on this, the final lap of the race. But Riley Phillips just has to, casually lap Phil Keane on the final lap of the race, on course for yet another win for Team GRD. Race one by their very high standards was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? With the spin, the damage, and then really the final nail in the coffin was that late race penalty that knocked them out of the top 10. It's very rare for them to finish outside the top 10. But they are back to winning ways in race number 2. And Riley Phillips brings the car home, nearly loses it as he celebrates across the line. Riley Phillips still gives us something to get excited about on the run to the flag. And he, Simon Rudd and Chris Devell win for the 3rd time in 4 races at the start of 2026. Who's going to be second? Bradbury's throwing everything at it through the last corner, but he couldn't quite get back on terms with Farkini, who will get second. Farkini and Fabulous Randaccio get a win and a second place from their Anglesey weekend, whilst Ted Bradbury and Vlad Vasiliev are at least on the podium, but they'll be ruining that damage they picked up at the end. Sherrodice, solid day for Sherrodice UK, who have a 4th place finish in the second race of the weekend, with Rob Boston Rare Vinyl completing the top 5. That was mightily entertaining, Richard.
Absolutely fantastic, and you know, all the Fun Cup races have been so. There's so much to take out. It's just stuff to watch everywhere, stuff to enjoy everywhere. Yeah, and the conclusion of another great round of the championship.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. GRD win by 19.2 seconds, but that doesn't really do that race justice. It was a proper Fun Cup race in that we, until the final stint really, always had a battle for the lead to enjoy, but GRD were in the end able to come home victorious by nearly 20 seconds over Uwe Hoffmann's Motorsport in second. A wounded Vape Club Morpheus Motorsport car still manages to make the podium in third, and Cheradise UK a solid 4th place ahead of Rob Boston with Rare Vinyl. Signature RV in 6th position, and Greenheath did not get a Masters podium. They were 4th in Masters. I forgot about GRD, but still a solid result for Greenheath. Axiometrics 8th, 9th Track Focused, and 10th for the Sunoco Racing Team.
GRD don't get on the podium for Masters, do they? Because they won.
No, you're absolutely right. So yeah, actually, if you win the race as a Master, you don't get classified as a Masters podium finisher. So yes, Greenheath will get third. Thank you, Richard. 11th for GCI Racing. They'll be disappointed with that puncture. They had really good pace in that final stint. In fact, they were matching Riley Phillips for much of the last half hour. FNS Morpheus Motorsport 12th after a penalty. Demon Tweaks 207 car with damage was 13th, and Seed Data 14th position in race number 2. 15th for the second of the Demon Tweaks cars, the 249. The 248 was 16th, and 17th for Fueled Up Racing. 18th Exposure Light, 19th Lee Tech after that early damage, and Team Viking and Ursus Capital Racing classified 20th after stopping at the side of the road and causing a safety car. Race Logic 21st, G-Force 22nd, Tropical Rocket Racing 23rd, and Team Clapham North in 24th ahead of Team FFS, Red River Sport and Red River Sport. Not a good day for Red River Sport, I think it's fair to say. Both of their cars look retiring on the same lap of the race, interestingly. 96 laps ago. It was only a 128 lap race, which shows you just how early they fell out of contention.
Yep, disappointing day for them. Good day for us, thoroughly enjoyable, and we have got, as I say, Donington Park to look forward to next time. Podium presentations to look forward to as well.